I started as the master of Jin Feng's Ayulu, astonishing the world with a single sword. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 401, Fighting, Suppression, and Fierce Fighting. Isn't it normal to use poison in a fight between the martial arts world? Hearing the words of the big man, the green-robed man snorted coldly and used the long whip in his hand instantly. Swish! The long whip directly pierced the opponent's throat. Although the opponent would still die even if he didn't make a move, he killed the opponent directly just in case. The others only saw the gray-robed big man's attack, which was earth-shaking. After the attack, there was no movement, but no one thought that he was poisoned. It was not until the green-robed man pierced his throat that the other 7 swords knew what had happened. Kill! Immediately, the other 6 people jumped off their horses and went to the other elders of the ghost domain. The first to take action and kill one person, the people on the ghost domain side were excited, and the other 6 elders quickly went in the direction they had planned before. Lure the opponent to chase and kill them separately. Be careful, don't disperse. Seeing that everyone was about to rush out to follow, the old man in the lead said immediately. Seeing this, the other 5 people stopped. Kill one person first. If they dare to surround us, we will kill them together. Kill him first. The leading elder looked at the green-robed elder, raised his sword and rushed over. The other 5 did not hesitate and rushed over quickly. The green-robed elder was excited before, but when he saw so many people rushing towards him at the same time, his face changed drastically and he fled without looking back. He had to rely on ambush to kill the gray-robed man. Now 6 of them were killing him. If he was surrounded, he might be cut into 6 pieces, so he could only flee. Brother Guanqi, help me suppress the 5 people behind the old man. I will go to kill the leading old man. At this time, Duguwudi said. At this time, Duguwudi could not watch the other party kill his elders. Okay, the 2 flew out. Guanqi raised his palm, and the innate invisible sword energy permeated his palm. Then he clenched it into a fist and punched it out. The powerful sword energy, driven by his fist, crushed the air, forming a strong storm that swept the people behind the old man. On the other side, Duguwudi's falling body suppressed the air, forming a riot. The moment his footsteps touched the ground, he kicked the ground and instantly shot towards the old man. The speed was so fast that the airflow around him made an explosion-like sound. The old man's eyes condensed, but he seemed to have known that Duguwudi would appear. The long sword in his hand turned instantly, turning into several sword lights, and went directly towards Duguwudi. The sword light collided with Duguwudi's ki, directly pierced through the ki, and went towards Duguwudi's fist. This is the characteristic of his long sword, which can pierce through the ki. Of course, if the ki is deeper, in order to break the opponent's ki, he needs to pour his own ki into the long sword to break it. In addition to not relying on the ki in the body in terms of sharpness, the weapon-level weapon still needs the assistance of ki in other aspects. Seeing this, Duguwudi quickly retracted his long fist, and his fist turned into a palm, grabbing the opponent's wrist. He would not use his palm to test the strength of the opponent's weapon. Bai Tianyu has one of the weapon-level weapons, and he knows how sharp it is. Seeing Duguwudi attacking his wrist, the old man with his sword turned the sword light back, forming a vortex of sword energy, not giving Duguwudi any chance. Duguwudi directly used the extinction magic skill, and the energy in his body instantly surged, and punched out. The powerful fist shattered the air, forming a strong airflow that pressed towards the opponent. Your long sword can pierce the energy, but I won't collide with you. What can you do? Boom. When he thought so, a strong energy burst out from the old man. The old man's strength was in the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. Duguwudi's strength was also in the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. The strength of the 2 is about the same now. Although Duguwudi used the extinction magic skill, as one of the 7 swordsmen of the Xiantian school who went down the mountain this time, his practice method was not bad, and he split Duguwudi's fist with one sword. Duguwudi, although you have the energy of the 3 difficulties of heaven and man, you will still die under my sword. The one who killed you is Wei Haiping from the Xiantian sect. The moment the old man spoke, he rushed towards Duguwudi, and quickly drew back the long sword in his hand. Then he swung out a sword, and a series of sharp sword energy shot towards the vital parts of Dugu Wudi's body as fast as lightning. The sword sounded rapid and sharp. He wanted to kill the opponent with one sword. As long as he killed Dugu Wudi, their mission would be completed for the time being. In that way, he could become a true disciple of the head teacher. Facing the old man's fierce attack, Dugu Wudi frowned, took a step forward, and shouted in a low voice, "Disintegrate the demon." The power in his body suddenly surged, and a terrifying aura of destruction spread, and his strength also surged from the 3 difficulties of heaven and man to the 5 difficulties of heaven and man. Not only in strength, his speed also skyrocketed instantly. In the midst of Wei Haiping's horror, his figure appeared beside the opponent like a ghost, and his palm stretched out, attacking the opponent's sword-wielding arm and shoulder like an eagle's claw. "Take off your arm and see how you can use the sword." Dugu Wudi's eyes were cold. Suddenly, Wei Haiping felt his shoulder sink, and then he saw the opponent's palm falling. Crack! The whole shoulder was crushed by the opponent, and a look of pain appeared on his face. Holding the long sword in his hand, he fell directly to the ground. Choose a better sect in your next life. Wudi succeeded in one blow, and when the long sword in Wei Haiping's hand fell, the other hand condensed the magic energy and slapped Wei Haiping's chest with one palm. Bang! Wei Haiping's body was directly blasted out by this punch, and hit the broken wall of the town not far away. The wall collapsed, and the whole person was buried by the wall. Boom! The buried Wei Haiping rushed out, but immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, with some internal organs in the blood. "You are going to die too." Wei Haiping didn't care about the pain in his body, and said coldly to Dugu Wudi. "Humph!" As he finished speaking, Dugu Wudi jumped up, stepped down, and stepped directly on the opponent's head. Swish! The opponent's head was directly crushed by him, and blood mixed with white brain matter spurted out. Old Wei, seeing this situation, the other 5 people's faces changed drastically, and they wanted to rush up to avenge Old Wei. But they were suppressed by Guan Qi's ki. The powerful innate invisible sword energy suppressed the opponent like a tide, making the 5 opponents unable to play the advantages of their long swords. At this time, in a dark place, 2 figures were watching the situation here. I didn't expect that Dugu Wudi's strength was actually at the 3rd level of heaven and man. The information we got before was only the 1st level of heaven and man. It seems that the resources we gave him before allowed him to improve his strength to the 3rd level of heaven and man, one of the men in green robes said. Dugu Wudi is not so bad, but Guan Qi. Judging from his ki, Guan Qi has already entered the 8th level of heaven and man. His strength is improving very fast. If we don't take action, he might kill us. Next to the man in green robes was a burly man with a bare upper body. It's a pity that we didn't lure out the person we are looking for. Let's do it, the man in green robes said. Chapter 402, Under the Palm, Golden Head. While he was talking, the shirtless man beside him rushed out. "Guan Qi, let me see your strength." A low voice appeared, and with a voice, a figure rushed out from a wall and punched Guan Qi. Xianshan avalanche fist. The fist was punched out, and a terrifying cold air burst out from his fist. This cold air was not only piercing, but also formed a cold wave, like a snow mountain collapse, covering Guan Qi domineeringly. Guan Qi, who was covered by the fist shadow, had a fixed look in his eyes. At this moment, it seemed that a stream of cold currents was rushing around him. Under this fist force, he felt that his sword energy was frozen by the cold air, and his limbs began to be swept by the cold air. "I met a real master," Guan Qi said in his heart. Then a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. "Only by fighting with the strong can you go further." He looked at the fist force that enveloped him. Although these fist forces are strong, they are not the most deadly. The most deadly thing is the opponent's fist, which is the opponent's strongest power and the real killer move. As long as he finds the opponent's fist, he will block it. The cold air enveloped and formed a storm. Snowflakes appeared on the storm and fell to the ground. It's time. Just as the snowflakes were about to fall to the ground, Guan Qi's eyes flashed, and the innate invisible sword energy in his body instantly burst out, merged into his palm, condensed into a fist, and punched out. The fist force was like the sword energy, tearing the storm, and finally appeared at one point. Bang! The 2 fist forces collided, and the storm surrounding them dissipated instantly. Then a powerful energy wave burst out in all directions like a gust of wind. Push. 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 The 2 people fighting retreated several steps at the same time before they stabilized their bodies. "You leave first," the shirtless man said to the 5 people behind him after stabilizing his body. Seeing this, the 5 people jumped on the horse's back and turned to leave. The loss of 2 people has dealt a certain blow to their previous arrogance. They know that staying here is useless and may be dangerous. Guan Qi and Dugu Wudi did not move, nor did they look at the 5 people who left. After Dugu Wudi used the heavenly demon disintegration technique, although his blood and energy have not disappeared, his blood and energy are not lasting, and his strength will drop at any time. It would be dangerous for him to follow. As for Guan Qi, he was blocked by the shirtless man in front of him and had no chance to attack. What's more, there was another person in the dark. Xianxin sect? Who is it? Guan Qi looked at the other party and asked coldly. Xianxin sect, main peak, Ruan Chixu, the shirtless man said. Main peak? Ruan Chixu? Guan Qi recalled the previous information, but there was no information about this person. It seems that there are many hidden masters in the Xianxin sect. It is worthy of being a sect whose master can fight against Emperor Zhou, Guan Qi said in his heart. The strength of a sect's leader can actually reflect the overall strength of the sect. When Hongmu Feng, the leader of the Xianxin sect, was strong, he overwhelmed the entire frontier, and all the resources in the frontier came from the Xianxin sect. The Xianxin sect was so strong at that time that the Kunlun sect, which was as famous as the Xianxin sect at that time, chose to hide from the world. It is normal to have hidden strong men. No need to talk nonsense. Let me see your strength. Guan Qi, Ruan Chixu, while speaking, raised his palm. A cold air flowed on his palm, and then his body shot towards Guan Qi. Guan Qi's eyes condensed, and he punched out and blasted towards the opponent. It seemed that the two sides were rushing sideways, but when they fought, Ruan Chixu's palm turned into a claw, and he directly grabbed Guan Qi's shoulder, while Guan Qi opened his palm and sprayed sword energy towards the opponent's face. Neither of them had any intention of fighting head-on. This was mainly because they had fought once before and roughly knew the strength of the other's internal energy. Guan Qi twisted his body to avoid the opponent's claw, while Ruan Chixu leaned back strangely to avoid the sword energy. Don't waste time, both of you attack together. Ruan Chixu missed the attack and growled at him. Seeing this, the green-robed man in the dark jumped out and stood beside the big man. Standing there, a sharp aura emanated from him. This man's strength was not inferior to that of Ruan Chixu. Xianxin sect, main peak, Yang Changqing, the green-robed man spoke and introduced himself. As the voice fell, Yang Changqing suddenly stepped out. Swish. One step later, a vague shadow appeared behind him, and when the shadow appeared, the energy of Yang Changqing surged. In an instant, 9 steps were taken in succession, and 9 figures appeared in front of Guan Qi. When Guan Qi saw these 9 figures, Yang Changqing's figure had already appeared in front of him. Guan Qi was startled and sensed a sense of danger. 9 steps of heavenly phantom fist. When Guan Qi was distracted, Yang Changqing shouted and punched out. A strong black fist force burst out from his fist and shot towards Guan Qi's chest. The Qigong of the Yangtze River in the north and south burst out instantly, forming a Qi gang to protect himself. Boom! The fist hit Guan Qi's Qi gang, and the Qi gang shook. After a blow, he failed to break Guan Qi's Qi gang. Yang Changqing's face did not change at all. He retracted his palm, and then saw that the fist in the opponent's palm turned into 9 phantoms and attacked again. Bang! The Qi gang in front of Guan Qi was instantly shattered. Kill! At that moment, the fist of the big man who had attacked earlier also appeared in front of Guan Qi at the same time. It can be seen that when the green-robed man punched the Qi gang, he had already punched, so that this effect could be achieved. Guan Qi suddenly felt a strong pressure. Without any hesitation, he raised his fist and punched out, colliding with the big man's fist. At the time of the collision, Yang Changqing extended his palm, and this time it was like a sharp blade slashing towards Guan Qi's chest. However, when Guan Qi's fist collided with the big man's fist, Guan Qi's body was knocked back and flew far away. This caused Yang Changqing's palm to miss. Yang Changqing looked at Guan Qi with a serious look. Guan Qi's 5 senses were too strong. He actually sensed that he had made a move, and with the help of Ruan Chixu's punch, he escaped from the joint attack of the two. Guan Qi, you can hide, but Dugu Wudi can't hide. Yang Changqing showed a sneer on the corner of his mouth, and looked at Dugu Wudi. You want to kill him? Then you might. Before Guan Qi finished speaking, Yang Changqing had already rushed towards Dugu Wudi. His palm turned into a claw, and directly grabbed Dugu Wudi's head. at such a fast speed. Du Wuti only saw a few afterimages. The other party's palm had appeared on his head. But he stood there without moving. As if he didn't see the other's movements clearly, he could only let the other's palm fall. Boom! Yang Chanking's palm fell, and then a trace of ferocity appeared on his face, ready to take off Du Wuti's head. But suddenly he found that the head he grabbed was like a diamond, and he couldn't use force. His eyes couldn't help but look at the head he grabbed, but he found that he was grabbing a golden head, and the person was not Du Wuti, but another person. Chapter 403 You Can't Beat Me While Standing, Absorbing Key. Do you feel my head is hard? Can you take it off? When he was about to continue to use force, a voice came from the other party's mouth. Hearing the other party's voice, Yang Chanking's face changed, and a strong energy burst out from his 5 fingers in an instant, grabbing the other party's head directly, trying to pierce the other party's head. But after his energy touched the other party's head, it made a sound of metal. It couldn't hurt his head at all. In other words, he didn't even pull out a single hair of the other party. His palm was also hurt by a recoil force. Knowing that he had met a master, he immediately withdrew his palm and retreated quickly. The speed was even faster than when he attacked before. Yang Chanking retreated and looked at his fingers, which were trembling. He looked at the person who appeared in front of Du Wuti with horror. His face looked like a middle-aged man, and there was no aura of a strong man on him, but his head and hair were golden, which looked very weird. Your fingers are too weak, it's not even enough to tickle me, I'm a little disappointed. When he looked at the person who came, the person said with a smile on his face. Who are you from? Xianaya Pavilion. Yang Chanking looked at the person and asked solemnly. There was no doubt that this person was from Xianaya Pavilion, but he wanted to know who this person was. This is our Xianaya Pavilion, East Pavilion Master Gu Santong, Du Wuti said coldly. Xianaya Pavilion, East Pavilion Master Gu Santong. Yang Chanking's eyes condensed, and then looked at the shirtless man beside him. Just now when you attacked, he suddenly appeared, his head turned golden in an instant. It was probably a physical skill, blocking your attack. The speed was faster than you and me. The other party was able to be intact under your palm. You and I are afraid that we can't break his defense. We have to find a way to leave, or send a rescue. The shirtless man not far from him seemed to understand what Yang Chanking meant, and immediately sent a voice message. Hearing the shirtless man Ruan Chiksu, Yang Chanking's expression froze. Escape? I'm afraid we can't escape. Although I was very casual when I attacked Du Wuti just now, the other party replaced Du Wuti without my noticing, and the speed is beyond his imagination. Now we can only send out a rescue signal and wait for support from the headmaster, Yang Chanking said in a voice transmission. I'm afraid the other party won't give us this opportunity, Ruan Chiksa replied. What are you two talking about there? Tell me, I'm also curious. Looking at the two people, Gu Santong said with a smile. Swish, at this time. A firework rose in the sky in the distance. So you are asking for help, then it seems that I have to deal with you first. Gu Santong looked at the firework and said with a smile. While speaking, he took a step forward, and a strong energy suddenly burst out from his body. Then Gu Santong moved his body and turned directly into a sharp rainbow light and swept towards Yang Chanking. Seeing Gu Santong move, the shirtless man immediately attacked, with the cold air in his palm. Gu Santong was too fast, so he had to suppress his speed first, otherwise he would not be able to stop him. Moreover, once the opponent got close, he would not be able to resist him with the opponent's terrifying golden body defense. He rushed out, and the cold air in his palm surged out of his palm and went towards Gu Santong. However, facing the opponent's cold air, Gu Santong's expression did not change, and his body continued to move forward. A terrible force was transmitted in his muscles, expelling all the cold air that flowed in. Liuli's engine. At this time, Yang Chanking shouted in a low voice, and a glazed color appeared around his body. His hands were bent and stretched out like eagle claws, grabbing Gu Santong's head. He also wanted to test Gu Santong's golden body again, whether it was the whole body or individual parts. Gu Santong also raised his palm, which was golden, and punched the opponent. There was only gold on the fist, but no energy. Ding ding. When Yang Chanking's palms fell, they collided with Gu Santong's fists and made a clanging sound, and sparks burst out. The crisp sound of metal came again. His attack just now did not leave any scars on Gu Santong's palms. The strength is still a little lacking, but if this is all you can do, Then I will send you on your way." The smile on Gu Santong's face disappeared at this moment, and his fists suddenly opened. A terrible suction force suddenly burst out from his palms. Yang Chanking's body, which had just fallen, was directly absorbed by the suction force. Boom! His internal ki burst out, trying to resist this suction force. For some reason, he felt that if he was sucked by this suction force and got close to Gu Santong, he would be in great danger. Seeing this situation, the shirtless man on the other side suddenly stepped on his feet and appeared in front of Gu Santong. Heart-piercing cold palm. Seeing Gu Santong, who was not prepared, the shirtless man Ruan Chixo immediately burst out with powerful cold power from both palms, and slapped Gu Santong's heart at a very fast speed. Bang! His palms were all printed on Gu Santong's chest, but it seemed like hitting on metal. It didn't produce any effect. "What's the point of standing here and letting you hit me? You can't hurt me. What's the point? I was waiting to deal with you, but you came to me, so I'll deal with you altogether." Gu Santong's face was cold, and his other hand stretched out directly. The energy in his palm flowed, and he grabbed the opponent's arm. Huh? He directly performed the section technique. A terrifying section force came out from his palm. Ruan Chixo only felt that the energy in his body at this moment was like a flood, and it went crazy into the opponent's body. Ruan Chixo was horrified and wanted to say something, but the suction force was too strong and didn't give him time to speak. In the blink of an eye, all the ki in his body was absorbed, and then with a bang, his whole body turned into a ball of blood mist, leaving no bones. On the other side, Yang Chanking saw that his body was also grabbed by Gu Santong. The power absorption method was running quickly. The same scene, Yang Chanking's ki was also absorbed, and then his body exploded into a ball of blood mist. When he attacked, he was extremely domineering, completely different from the previous Gu Santong, who was full of smiles on his face. The warriors of the 8 difficulties of heaven and man in this world are so weak. Gu Santong frowned slightly. "It's not that they are weak, but that you are strong, Pavilion Master." Guanqi stepped forward and said. With the strength of these two people, he may not be able to win in a one-on-one fight. But these people are like ants in front of Gu Santong, so it can only be said that Gu Santong's strength is too strong. Just now I sent a signal, and I don't know what kind of master will come. If it is an ordinary master of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man, I won't be interested in it at all. Gu Santong glanced at the fireworks in the sky just now and said in a deep voice. Chapter 404, Spreading, Going Alone to Xianshan Sect. "It's hard to guess who the other party will send," Dugu Wudi replied in a deep voice. "The strength displayed by Xianshan Sect today seems to have hidden many strong people, so it is difficult to guess who is coming." "Is that so? Tell me the location of Xianshan Sect, and I will go to Xianshan Sect directly to see how strong the head of Xianshan Sect is. In this way, the other party will be afraid and dare not attack the ghost domain again." Gu Santong thought so. Although he just easily killed 2 strong people of the 8 difficulties of heaven and man, Gu Santong did not dare to say that he would definitely defeat the head of Xianshan Sect. "Master, then we will go with you," Guanqi and Dugu Wudi said together. "No, if I go alone, even if I am besieged, I can still fight my way out, but if you go, you may not be able to fight your way out," Gu Santong said. "Then the 2 of us will wait for the master in the ghost domain. This is the route to Xianshan Sect," Dugu Wudi said. Gu Santong took the map, took a look at it, put it in his arms, and then went in the direction of Xianshan Sect. Looking at Gu Santong's back as he left, Dugu Wudi sighed and said, "My strength is still too weak. My strength is the same. We should find a way to improve our strength in this world," Guanqi said. Previously, they improved their strength in the way of their own world, but the improvement was a bit slow. In this world, the prosperity of martial arts is much higher than that of theirs, and there may be a special way to improve strength. Hearing Guanqi's words, Dugu Wudi's eyes lit up. "You mentioned this, I really know. I have read some ancient books these days, and there is a way to quickly improve strength in the ancient books. It seems to be a large formation. After it is arranged, it can absorb the power between heaven and earth, integrate it into the body, and improve the body's strength, but I don't care about the name of this formation. I will read it again after I go back," Dugu Wudi said. Ah! Just as the 2 were talking, a scream came from a distance. This scream was heard quickly and disappeared quickly. It is estimated that the people who came to support were killed by Pavilion Master Gu, Dugu Wudi said. As he spoke, He raised his arm and a black firework was emitted in the air. The disciples of the ghost domain quickly gathered here. They left quickly with their people. As for Gu Santong, he quickly went to the Xianshan sect. Lingnan County. Sham sect Zihanyu appeared in front of Su Chen. Master Su, I came here this time mainly to consult. When dealing with the Xianshan sect, how many Shinran strong men can you send out? 1 Shinran Jiunan strong man, no others, Su Chen said. 1 Shinran Jiunan strong man. Hearing Su Chen's words, Zihanyu's beautiful eyes showed surprise. You can only send out 1 Shinran Jiunan strong man? But Master Su, you have obtained a lot of resources this time, why only send out 1 Shinran Jiunan strong man? Master Su does not do transactions like this. Zihanyu looked at Su Chen and said, I'm sending out a warrior who has reached the level of Dancing Transformation C among the 9 difficulties of heaven and man. Don't you think 1 warrior like this is not enough? Su Chen looked at Zihanyu and said, a warrior who has reached the level of Dancing Transformation C? Zihanyu's beautiful eyes moved, and she looked at Su Chen with some horror. A warrior who has reached the level of Dancing Transformation C. He is not an ordinary warrior of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man. She didn't expect Su Chen to send such a warrior. At this time, a figure came out from outside. It was the gray-robed old man who came with Zihanyu. After the old man bowed slightly to Su Chen, he whispered a few words in Zihanyu's ear. Hearing the words of the gray-robed old man, Zihanyu's face became solemn. Master Su, something happened outside the Great Wall. Gu Santong, the head of the East Pavilion of Xianaya Pavilion, appeared and killed 2 warriors of the 8 difficulties of heaven and man, and 1 warrior of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man from Xianshan sect with a fierce move, and is now heading to Xianshan sect, Zihanyu said. Su Chen frowned when he heard it. But there was no wavering in his heart. It was easy for Gu Santong to kill those people with his strength, and it was normal for him to go to the Xianshan sect. He practiced a Vajra indestructible divine art and the absorbing power art, which was a bit against the will of heaven. One was invulnerable to swords and guns, and the other could absorb people's power. The 2 complemented each other. With Gu Santong's strength, he could just run rampant. He went to the Xianshan sect alone. He was very arrogant. Feng, the head of the Xianshan sect, fought against Emperor Zhou in the past. His strength must be extraordinary. With so many masters in the Xianshan sect, I'm afraid they could kill him even if they surrounded him, Su Chen said afterwards. The strength shown by that person is very strong. He is probably a Dancing Huahe level expert. Such a strong person should not be arrogant. He must have the confidence to go to the Xianshan sect. This may also be our opportunity. We can join forces to attack the Xianshan sect, Su Chen said. My experts haven't arrived yet, so I don't have a chance to take action. But I always feel that the situation is a little unusual. Go check it out. If there's any news about the Xianshan sect, tell us immediately. Zihanyu looked at the gray-robed old man. The gray-robed old man left the hall. At this time, Yuan Suiyan appeared in the hall. Master, the news from the outside world. Gu Santong, the head of the East Pavilion of Xianaya Pavilion, appeared and killed 2 Shinran 8 difficulties masters and 1 Shinran 9 difficulties master from the main peak of Xianshan sect. These 3 people were not on the list we investigated earlier. Also, after Gu Santong killed these people, he went to Xianshan sect. According to the clues we got, Gu Santong should arrive at Xianshan sect tomorrow, Yuan Suiyan said. The Xianshan sect should have known about Gu Santong's killing of Xianshan sect a long time ago. What are their movements? Su Chen asked with a frown. No useful news has been received for the time being, Yuan Suiyan replied. After Gu Santong killed the powerful man of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man, Xianshan sect seemed to be silent, without any movement. Is that so? It seems that things are going to be interesting. Immediately pay close attention to the movements outside the Great Wall. If there's any other news, let me know immediately. Su Chen waved his hand and said. Master Su, I will not stay here either. I need to report the things here to the sectu if there is any news. I will come to find Master Su immediately. Another place. Inside the main hall of the Xianshan sect, Feng and the other 2 mountain masters gathered together. I didn't expect that Gu Santong of Xianaya Pavilion is so strong. He killed 2 people with 2 moves. His strength is not simple, Now he is coming to our Xiantian sect. I don't know what he wants to do, Jin Bai said. What do you want to do? He should come to challenge me and test my strength. I will let him know my strength. When Hong Yufeng spoke, a sharp cold light flashed in his eyes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405, Going Down the Mountain from Huomu Peak, Xianaya Pavilion, Qinglong Club, Headquarters. Master, this Gu Santong is so arrogant. If he is allowed to come to my Xiantian sect, it will be an insult to my Xiantian sect. Since you took charge of the Xiantian sect, no one has come straight to my Xiantian sect like this, Jin Bai said. Before Hong Yufeng, the master of the Xiantian sect, became the master. The strength of the Xiantian sect was weaker than that of the Kunlun sect during its heyday outside the Great Wall, and there were 3 other forces on the same level as the Xiantian sect outside the Great Wall. Hong Yufeng launched a war in the 3rd year after becoming the master. In the time when the Kunlun sect had no time to react, he subdued and eliminated the other 3 forces and became a force comparable to the Kunlun sect. Afterwards, Hong Yufeng challenged the then master of the Kunlun sect, Yuan Zuzi, and severely injured Yuan Zuzi, forcing the Kunlun sect to close the mountain. This made the Xiantian sect the largest force outside the Great Wall. Even the Emperor of Zhou had challenged Hong Yufeng to duel, not to his Xiantian sect master. Let me go meet that Gu Santong first, Jin Bai said. Jin Duai is the master of the North Mountain of the Xiantian sect in terms of seniority. He is Hong Yufeng's uncle. His strength is the first master below Hong Yufeng of the Xiantian sect. Uncle Jin, your Danshan transformation C has just been completed and needs to be consolidated. It is better not to take action for the time being. The other party must have known something about my Xiantian sect, so let me go and meet him in person. Hong Yufeng waved his hand. Master, no, if you take action, the outside world will think that there is no one in the Xiantian sect. This matter started because of my Nanshan. I asked my master to come out of the mountain and fight with Gu Santong. Hearing this, the master of Nanshan, Mu Fengian, said, that's even more unacceptable. These are some of my Xiantian sect's trump cards. They can't be revealed for the time being. I'll go meet Gu Santong in person, and you guys stay in Xiantian sect. Hong Yufeng waved his hand. Then he left the palace, turned into a black light, left Xiantian sect, and went to intercept Gu Santong. One day later, a message came from the outside of the Great Wall. Gu Santong, the East Pavilion master of Xianaya Pavilion, and Hong Yufeng, the head of Xiantian sect, fought at the foot of Xiantian Mountain. This battle lasted for a day and a night, and the surrounding snow-capped mountains collapsed. The two left without a clear winner. But the most shocking thing was that Gu Santong and Hong Yufeng both had a virtual image on their bodies. The virtual image fought with earth shaking. Then this virtual image was interpreted. The second stage of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man, the sea of concentration, the virtual image is the divine shadow they condensed. Lingnan County. Mountain and River Gate. Su Chen looked at the news from the outside of the Great Wall. His eyes condensed slightly. He had thought that Gu Santong would win, but he didn't expect that it would end in a tie. The opponent's strength had reached the stage of sea concentration like Gu Santong. Sure enough, he is a person who can fight against Emperor Zhou, but Hong Yufeng is also very powerful. When he fought against Emperor Zhou, he was severely injured and fell into this realm. In just 20 years, he actually reached this realm again. During this period of time, Su Chen had learned a little about Hong Yufeng 20 years ago. He knew what stage Hong Yufeng was at that time. Hong Yufeng is so strong, so what stage is Emperor Zhou at? Su Chen couldn't help thinking in his heart. Hong Yufeng could tie with Gu Santong, which means that Gu Santong is not the opponent of Emperor Zhou. He was a little more afraid of Emperor Zhou. Sure enough, he can suppress the whole world with his own strength, Su Chen said secretly. After this battle, the development of Dugu Wudi's ghost domain will no longer be restricted, and it should be able to expand rapidly, Su Chen murmured. My lord, you are wrong. I just received news that the Xiantian sect is doing its best to suppress the development of the ghost domain. Mu Fengian, the leader of the Nanshan Mountain of the Xiantian sect, personally went down the mountain to lead a group to suppress the ghost domain, and the Xiantian sect also opened 3 mountain ranges. There is a sect in each of these 3 mountain ranges. They are the 3 major forces outside the Great Wall that were conquered during the Huangyu Feng era, Yuan Su'in said as he walked in from outside. It seems that it is still very strong. Su Chen frowned slightly. He thought that the Xiantian sect would relax its suppression of the ghost domain because of this battle. Unexpectedly, the ghost domain became more difficult. What do you think the Xiantian sect wants to do by doing this? Su Chen asked in a deep voice. He couldn't guess why the Xiantian sect did this. Logically speaking, the Xiantian sect should not suppress the ghost domain. The highest combat power of both sides is equal, so the fight should be settled. What's more, the Xian'an Pavilion only has 1 East Pavilion Master and 1 North Pavilion Master. Maybe this Xiantian sect still has a trump card, but Master, they didn't go that far, just suppressed it, and didn't invade the existing territory of the ghost domain, Yuan Su'in said in a deep voice. When is Gu Santong expected to return? Su Chen asked. He really wanted to know the specific details of the battle at that time. The news that came out was just the feelings of the people who watched it. He wanted to know Gu Santong's evaluation of Hong Yufeng. Return in 3 days, Master, Xian'an Pavilion, and Qinglong Club, both need a real base, otherwise, Mr. Gu and his friends will have some problems with where to go, Yuan Su'in said in a deep voice. Do you have a suitable place? Su Chen frowned. What Yuan Su'in said is also what he is considering. Gu Santong and Ding Peng of Qinglong Club can't stay in there, Xiangmen, all the time. They need to have their own real base. In his mind, these masters are all gathered together. My lord, I have recently checked the conditions of some mountains in the 9 northern counties. I found that there is no suitable place to station in the 9 northern counties, but there is a suitable place in the 13 Lingjian counties controlled by the World Alliance. It is Guiyan County, which is closest to my Lingnan County. There is a very ancient mountain range called the 7 Stars Mountain Range. It is full of miasma all year round and rarely visited by people. I plan to go with me to explore after the 5 poison boys come back to see if there is a suitable place to set up a station, Yuan Su'in said. Then recall the 5 poison boys as soon as possible, Su Chen said. Master, don't worry. The 5 poison boys should be back soon. They will return after killing Nai Chong, the 3rd son of the king of Liu in Huayan, Yuan Su'in said. Nai Chong, the 3rd son of the king of Liu, has gone to the capital. It is true that he cannot go to the capital, otherwise, Murengfu will be under pressure, Su Chen said. Now Murengfu is in contact with the 12th prince of the Great Zhou dynasty, and he must not be targeted. Although Murengfu used his own method to return the favor and put the blame on the retainers of the Imperial Master's mansion, there are many talented people in the capital. Once Nai Chang went to the capital to exert pressure and sent some talented people, it is possible to find Murengfu. Therefore, Nai Chang could not go to the capital. If he died on the way to the capital, the focus of the capital would be shifted to the Huayan area and to King Liu. It can only be said that someone was targeting King Liu, not that there were other intentions. This would relieve the pressure on Murengfu's side. Chapter 406, the 3rd son of King Liu, the 5 poison boys poison. Outside the Huayan area. On a wide road. Tick, tick. More than 20 warriors with sturdy backs and fierce swordsmen rode forward on horseback. The leader was a big man wearing black gold chain mail, with a bronze complexion, giving people an extremely strong feeling. He was Xiao Mang, one of the 3 deputy commanders of the Liu Palace. In the middle of the horse team, a wide carriage was guarded. Inside the carriage, a young man in brocade clothes was half lying in the wide carriage. The young man had a steady breath, a high nose bridge, and sharp eyes, giving people a feeling of being very good at planning. This man was Nai Chang, the 3rd son of the Liu King. Among the heirs of the Liu King, he was the heir with the most outstanding talent and strategy. In terms of martial arts, he ranked 3rd among the heirs of the Liu King, second only to the eldest son and the eldest daughter. Beside him, 2 maids were half kneeling, one pinching his shoulders, and the other tapping his legs. Not far away sat a thin man in a gray robe, with his eyes closed, sitting there motionless. We are out of the Huayan area. Do you think anyone will attack us? Nai Chang stretched his waist, sat up straight, and said to the gray-robed man. Prince, it may be the most dangerous to leave the Huayan area. After all, this is not the prince's territory. The other party may choose to attack here. The gray-robed man opened his eyes, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and said in a deep voice, "Be careful. In fact, my sister's death has nothing to do with the fight between the 9 princes. It should be my sister's enemy, or the enemy of our Liu Palace. I hope I can lure the other party out this time. The enemy in the dark gives us a feeling of a thorn in our throat. We must get rid of it," Nai Chong said in a deep voice. This time he went to the capital and oppressed the 7th prince before. In fact, it was all for others to see, just to lure out the enemy. Originally, he wanted to lure out the enemy in the Huayin area, but the other party never took action. Now he has left the Huayin area and is no longer in his territory. The other party will not let go of this opportunity, but there is also a danger. Don't be so optimistic. If the other party wants to take action, they must have already found out our strength, said the gray-robed man. With you and General Xiao guarding me, there should be no problem with safety, Nai Chong said. Prince, I always have a bad premonition when I come out this time. This premonition is very dangerous, the gray-robed man frowned and said. Hearing the gray-robed man's words, Nai Chong's expression became solemn. The convoy continued to move forward. At this time, Xiao Mang, who was in charge of the convoy, came to the front of the carriage. Prince, we will reach the nearest town in about 2 hours. Do you want to rest in the town and leave tomorrow? Xiao Mang said outside the window. Then spend the night in the town ahead, Nai Chong nodded. The convoy continued to move forward. At this time, a man carrying 2 baskets and wearing a bamboo hat appeared in front of them. As if hearing the sound of the convoy behind, he moved to the side of the road and lowered his head to let the convoy continue to move forward. After the convoy left, the man wearing the bamboo hat slowly took off his bamboo hat and opened the basket in front of him. There was a child in the basket, the 5 poison boy. The man wearing the bamboo hat was Kui Wu. The 2 of them came to kill Nai Chong, the son of King Lai Wu, or to capture Nai Chong and let Liu Liking attack him. 5 poison boy, when will the poison take effect? Kui Wu said. In a while, some weak people will bleed from all 7 orifices and die. There will be about 5 people. When these 5 people die, I believe they will panic. 5 people died, and someone must deal with the bodies. The people who deal with those bodies will also die when they arrive in the town. The 5 poison boy showed a sneer on his face. According to the time calculation, they should be in Sangyin town ahead in the evening. I hope they can panic tonight so that we have a chance to take Nai Chong away, Kui Wu said. Don't think it's that simple. The leader, the big man in mail armor, is much stronger than us. There are also strong people in the carriage. We'd better not attack head-on, the 5 poison boy said. Using poison is good, but I'm afraid of leaving traces. When they trace it back, they will suspect you, Kui Wu said. Let the Xiao brothers deal with all the bodies left behind, leaving no traces, the 5 poison boy said in a deep voice. At this moment, he seemed a little excited. Using poison to kill people who are stronger than themselves, making these people still in a state of fear, and dying in this state of mind. It is a very exciting thing. Let's go, the 5 poison boy said to Kui Wu. Kui Wu carried the load and rushed directly into the dense forest beside the official road, and continued to follow the caravan. The caravan continued to move forward. After a while, suddenly, some guards on horseback covered their necks, screamed, fell off the horseback, and kept spitting white foam from their mouths. The eyeballs bulged, the body twitched a few times, and there was no breath. In this situation, the convoy stopped. The guards near these people came forward to check. Commander, they are poisoned, one person said with horror on his face. The leader Xiao Mang heard the words, jumped off the horse, and came to a dead guard with foam at the mouth. Looking at the life and death of the opposite side, his eyes were fixed. He quickly came to the other people, and after checking, his brows frowned. You immediately check if you are poisoned, Xiao Mang immediately ordered. A group of guards circulated their internal key to check if they were poisoned, but they did not find anything. You wait here, I will report to the prince. Xiao Mang quickly came to Nai Chong's carriage. What happened? Nai Chong said in the carriage. 5 guards suddenly died of poisoning. I have asked people to check themselves. Others did not find that they were poisoned, Xiao Mang reported. Hearing Xiao Mang's words, the carriage suddenly became silent. Nai Chong's pupils suddenly shrank when he asked. They had just left the Huayin area when something happened here. It seems that our enemies are here. Get rid of those bodies and rush to the town ahead as soon as possible, Nai Chong said in the carriage. Yes, Xiao Meng took the order and arranged for 3 people to stay and deal with the 5 bodies. He jumped on the horse and continued to move forward with the team. The team continued to move forward, but the atmosphere became weird, especially the guards outside the carriage. The 5 dead people had been with them all the time and had never left. Now that these 5 people were poisoned to death, they themselves might also be poisoned, but they just didn't find out. Such a mentality makes people nervous, and nervousness will increase the depressing atmosphere. In the carriage here comes a master of poison, we have to be careful, Nai Chong said in a deep voice. Previously, he thought someone would attack him directly, but he didn't expect that the one who came was a master of poison. Killing is invisible, killing is bloodless. Such a person is very scary. Prince, are you scared? The gray-robed man looked at Nai Chong and said. I'm not afraid. The other party didn't attack me directly, which means he didn't have the chance to do so, and I believe that as long as he attacks me, I can find him, maybe I can meet him tonight, Nai Chong sneered. Chapter 407, Weird Use of Poison. Half of the people died again. The convoy continued to move forward. Soon, the guards who buried the bodies caught up. In the evening, the group arrived in front of a small town. The town was called Sangin Town. It seemed that there were many vehicles coming and going, and the people coming and going were well dressed. It can be seen that this town is quite wealthy. Prince, we have arrived in the town. Do we want to enter the town? Xiao Meng came to Nai Chong's carriage and said. Enter the city, why not? I really want to see if those people will attack me at night, Nai Chong said in a deep voice. Yes, Xiao Meng received the order and led the convoy into the town. At the gate of the town, Kui Wuhu and the 5 poison boys stood together, followed the crowd behind the convoy, and entered the town. When the convoy entered the city gate, it had not taken a few steps. 3 screams were heard. The palms of the 3 people who had buried the 5 bodies began to rot. The rot was very fast and spread to the whole body in an instant, and they fell off the horse's back. Rolling on the ground in pain, it didn't take long before they stopped breathing and their bodies began to fester. In a short period of time, the flesh and blood of the 3 people disappeared, leaving only a pile of bones. The pedestrians on both sides of the road looked at this scene in horror and moved away from the convoy. Some brave people stayed on the side of the road to watch, while some timid people left quickly. It was better not to watch such things. Inside the carriage, Nai Chong's originally relaxed face turned gloomy. Keep going, a cold voice came out of his mouth. Xiao Meng, the leader, continued to move forward after hearing this. As for the 3 bones on the ground, no one picked them up. This made it difficult for the people in charge of cleaning the streets. They looked at the 3 bones on the street and didn't dare to step forward. Go and deal with them, or I'll chop off your head, a guard said sternly to an old man who was cleaning the street. They didn't want to die, so they had to let others die. The old man could only drag the cart and timidly shovel the 3 bones into the garbage truck bit by bit. But in fact, they didn't know. The 5 poison boys had already mastered the art of poisoning. When eating the same steamed bun, the people he wanted to kill would die, but the others would not. So ordinary people would be fine if they touched these 3 skeletons. The carriage soon arrived at the most luxurious inn in the town. Let's eat in the lobby. Nai Chong got off the carriage with his maid and the gray-robed man. The other party had caused him to lose manpower continuously, and the method of poisoning had not been found out yet. He knew that the method of the person who poisoned was not ordinary, so he had to eat in the lobby of the inn. At this time, in a room above the lobby, Kui Wuhu and the 5 poison boys watched Nai Chong and others who came in and ate in the lobby. We planned to kill a few of them this time, Kui Wuhu looked at the 5 poison boys and said. We want them to die half more this time. I think if this happens, they will be even more panicked, the 5 poison boys said coldly. It's better to kill half of them, but we can't delay for too long. According to my investigation, a group of people came to the inn, and they may also come for Nai Chong and others, Kui Wuhu said. Please pay attention to them and don't let them ruin our plan. I have only reached the 3rd level of my 5-layer poison. I need to go down 2 more layers, and then I can take Nai Chong away. We can't let any accidents happen at this time, the 5 poison boys said in a deep voice. I asked the Xiao brothers to secretly watch them. Although the Xiao brothers' strength is not very good, they are still good at hiding and watching people, Kui Wuhu said. In the lobby, Nai Chong and the gray-robed man sat at a table, sitting by the window, and some other guards sat down one after another. The waiter immediately came over with a menu. "Prince, what dishes do you want to order?" "Waiter, bring a portion of your signature dishes and some wine, the same for each table," Nai Chong said. Now that he was being targeted by someone, and it was a poison master, he didn't have much in mind to eat. "Okay," the waiter quickly stepped back when he heard it. In a short while, the table of their people was filled with dishes and wine. The two maids standing beside Nai Chong stepped forward and began to test for poison. After testing the poison one by one, the two ate the dishes on the table in small bites and stood behind Nai Chong. "The prince is fine," the two maids said at the same time. After a while, the other tables were left for the waiters to eat, and the waiters ate and found nothing wrong. These people ate and drank freely. At this time, in a private room, there were two men and one woman sitting. They looked at the hall with serious expressions, especially the girl in green clothes. The girl was about 15 or 16 years old, with a slender figure, a sense of petite and exquisite, and her eyes were as bright as stars, but she looked at Nai Chong with hatred at this moment. In her hand was a long sword, and her palm was tightly clenched, as if she was going to rush out and kill the other party. But she seemed to deliberately suppress her murderous intent and not let her murderous intent show. "Cousin Qingling, now is not the time to move. You must restrain yourself. If you move, the other party will notice it." The gray-robed man next to him is a mixed-blood martial artist. His palm skills are extremely amazing. He practices the Hunun sect and the Hunun Gong. His internal strength is extremely powerful. It is rumored that he is about to enter the 7 difficulties of heaven and man, and that Xiao Mang, one of the 3 commanders of the Liu Palace, is even more powerful than the 5 difficulties of heaven and man. "The 3 of us are no match," a young man in white clothes next to him said. "Cousin, it seems that we are not the only ones who want their lives. Just now, news came that they encountered a master of poison on the way here. The first batch, 5 people died, and the second batch died 3 people. It's a very strong master of poison. I estimate that they will have more deaths in a while," another person said. While he was speaking, suddenly, the guards of the Liu Palace who were drinking heavily below suddenly covered their necks one after another, spitting white foam from their mouths, fell to the ground, and groaned in pain, just like the few people who fell on the horseback before. Seeing this situation, everyone was shocked and quickly moved away from the table. Looking at the person lying on the ground, a trace of fear appeared in his eyes. There were 1 or 2 people at each table, and the others were fine. Nai Chong, who was sitting upright, looked a little pale. This was completely beyond his expectations. At this moment, a maid beside him also fell to the ground, covering her neck. Like the others, she stopped breathing soon. For a while, the atmosphere in the hall became solemn. Looking at the maid lying on the ground, Nai Chong was horrified. Even Chang Wu, the gray-robed man who had always been calm beside him, looked solemn at this moment. This maid just did nothing, but just ate the food on the table. He raised his hand and grabbed another maid, and a burst of energy rushed into her body. "No signs of poisoning, Prince. The opponent is very strong. We need support," he said in a deep voice. The opponent's poison was too powerful, and they couldn't stop it. Upstairs, the 3 people saw this situation and looked at each other with horror in their eyes. Chapter 408, Face, Bad Luck. They didn't understand how the other party poisoned. The same people ate the same thing, some died and some didn't. How terrible it was. "It seems that we don't need to do anything. I'm afraid Nai Chong won't survive," the young man in white said with a stutter. Although the other party was not targeting them, it also made him feel chilled. Thinking that if he met such a poison master, he might not know how he died. "We'd better not move, otherwise, we may disturb the other party's rhythm and attack us," another young man said. As for the girl, she was just a little horrified at first, and then a smile appeared on her face. "No, I won't be impulsive. Look at how scared Nai Chong is now. I want to see him so scared. Seeing him like this makes me happy," the girl called Qingling said. In the hall, Nai Chong's face gradually became very peaceful. "Commander Xiao, let the innkeeper expel everyone from the inn. I think the person who poisoned should be in this inn. I want to see who is attacking this prince," Nai Chong said coldly. Second floor. The 5 poison boy looked at Nai Chong and said, "He has some brains, but it's a pity that he can't surround the inn with such a small number of people. How can he take them down? Let's go." The five poison boys said to Kui Woohoo. We don't have to leave. If we leave, we will fall into Nai Chong's trap, Kui Woohoo in front of him said. As he spoke, two human skin masks appeared in his hand. One with a child's face was handed to the five poison boy, and the other one was put on by himself, looking like a middle-aged man. The five poison boy took a look at the human skin mask in his hand and put it on his face. When they entered the room, they were wearing bamboo hats, and the waiter in the inn didn't know what they looked like. I asked the headmaster to help me make this when I came to Hua Inn area. After putting it on, as long as we don't take it off ourselves, others can't find our true appearance. Let's continue eating, Kui Woohoo said. Just as Kui Woohoo was speaking, in the private room not far from them, three figures left directly from the window on the other side of the room. Someone left. In the lobby of the inn, Nai Chong spoke to Chang Wu beside him. While Nai Chong was speaking, he was concentrating his hearing to check the situation in each room. Sensing the three people's escape, Chang Wu spoke. How strong are the three people? Nai Chong said in a deep voice. According to the sound fluctuations they just made, their strength is not very strong. I can capture them all, Chang Wu said. Someone is watching them, they can't leave, Nai Chong replied, and then said to Xiao Mang, check every room and bring everyone down to me. Upon hearing this, the team leader Xiao Mang immediately led his men to the upstairs of the inn. This sir, please show mercy, our small shop can't afford such a loss. At this time, the innkeeper came to Nai Chong cautiously and asked, this prince is the son of King Liu, and all the losses in the palace will be borne by this prince, Nai Chong said coldly. When the person in charge heard that Nai Chong was the son of King Liu, he immediately bowed and said, everything will be arranged by His Royal Highness. As a warrior or other identity, he can still use the people behind him to suppress him. After all, to be able to open such a restaurant and inn in such a prosperous town, he must have some power. But Nai Chong reported his identity as the prince, which was not comparable to the people behind him, so now Nai Chong can do whatever he wants. The son of King Liu, you are so powerful. This is not the fiefdom of King Liu. On the second floor, a window opened, and a woman in a black dress was looking downstairs. The voice just now was made by her. Nai Chong looked at the woman. The corner of the woman's mouth showed a smile, and she exuded a charm. Xianhuan sect, Fairy Yangxi, seeing the woman's appearance, the only remaining maid beside Nai Chong spoke, Xianhuan sect. It is one of the 13 sects in the border Tingzhou area of Hua Inn. There are 13 counties in Tingzhou, and each of the 13 sects manages one county. They are now in Tongchuan, which is under the jurisdiction of one of the 13 sects, the Xianhuan sect. Yunzai, who is called Fairy Yun by the maids, is the third disciple of a master of the Xianhuan sect. It is said that she is born with a charming body and practices the most famous, heaven and earth yin and yang illusionary method, of the Xianhuan sect. I didn't expect Fairy Yangxi to be here. I'm so disrespectful. Fairy Yangxi, the other party attacked me on your Xianhuan sect territory, which is just a disrespect to you, Xianhuan sect. I think Fairy Yangxi also hopes to find these people, Nai Chong said. Didn't someone leave just now? Your people can capture those people. Do you think that by expelling people like this, you can identify the other party? The other party is a master of poison. It won't be so easy for you to find him out. Also, Master Nai, you don't have to flatter me here. The other party killed people, but they only killed people from your palace. No one else was touched. This has already given face to us, Xianhuan sect, so please, Master Nai, don't let the grievances between you affect other people. I would like to ask Master Nai to do the same as the other party and not disturb others. If you want to find the other party, then find the other party based on your ability. Fairy Yangxi looked at Nai Chong and said. Hearing Fairy Yangxi's words, Nai Chong's expression slightly changed. Then for the sake of the fairy, let's stop this matter. Shopkeeper, arrange a backyard for us. As the largest restaurant in the town, it has a dedicated courtyard. Prince, please. The shopkeeper hurried over and took Nai Chong and others to the backyard of the inn. When he left, he told the waiter in the store to clean up the bodies quickly. In this world, martial arts are flourishing, and it is very common for these rivers and lakes to fight. The waiter and others quickly began to clean up the bodies on the ground. After everyone left, Fairy Yangxi closed the window and returned to the house. We just came here to pay attention to the whereabouts of Prince Nai. How did you get in touch with him? There was also a woman in a white dress in the house. The woman had a proud figure and a somewhat cold appearance. "If I don't show up, won't you and I be kicked out too? If you and I are kicked out, it will bring shame to our Xianhuan sect, not to mention that I really think that Nichong can't find the other party if he does this. Although poison masters like to watch their masterpieces live, it's not difficult for the other party to leave silently with such a strong poison. Of course, there is a possibility of being discovered. When the two sides fight, the poison master will poison without restraint. I'm afraid there will be no one alive in this building, and you and I may not be able to leave. I'm doing this for our own good," Fairy Yunzai said. "It's exactly as you said. In fact, I took a look at Nichong's face and he is in danger," the woman in white said softly. "Then calculate whether the three people who left are lucky or unlucky," Fairy Yunzai looked at the woman in white and said. Chapter 409, Danger Approaches, 5-foot land. "I don't know about the other two of the three, but the girl is lucky and should not die," the woman in the white dress said. While they were talking, Nichong and his group, who had just headed to the backyard, continued to scream. "Hey, there are more deaths over there. How many people do you think will be left this time?" Fairy Yunzai said. "Won't we know if we go and take a look?" the woman in the white dress said. After saying that, she stood up and opened the door and headed to the backyard. When they arrived at the backyard, there were more than a dozen corpses lying on the ground. Only 3 people were left in Nichong's group: Nichong, Cheng Wu, and the guard leader Xiao Mang. Seeing this situation, Yunzai and the woman in the white dress who followed them changed their expressions. "Only 3 people are left," they thought to themselves. "Prince, this is not a place to stay for long. We must leave this inn," Xiao Mang said. The other party killed everyone around them 4 times, leaving only the 3 of them. Next time, they should attack them. At this time, Nichong's face turned pale, and the calmness he had just recovered was gone. "Let's go, let's leave the city quickly, find an open place to wait for the other party, and send a rescue notice," Nichong said anxiously. While he was speaking, Cheng Wu had already escorted him away. The place where the carriage stopped outside the restaurant. The 3 of them did not stay at all, and went directly to the outside of the city. They had to find a relatively large open place so that they could find the other party. Only by finding the other party, they could have a way to crack it. It is rumored that this third prince is a scheming person among the heirs of Prince Liu. I didn't expect that he would flee like this. I just don't know if they can escape this disaster, Fairy Yunzai said. If you encounter such a situation, you will do the same as him. The other party's strange way of poisoning is too shocking. Nichong can hold on until now, and his perseverance is already good, but I have some doubts in my heart. I have seen this Nichong before. He is not a short-lived person. I don't know why this happened. The changes in the hexagram are strange. The woman in the white dress frowned slightly. Let's go and see if this prince can survive tonight, Fairy Yunzai said. No, we should check who left this restaurant now. Among those who left, there might be the master who poisoned, the woman in white skirt said. I'll check this. You wait for me in the private room first, Fairy Yunzai said. Nichong and his friends had just left. If the person who poisoned left, he should leave with them. She believed that she could find the person who poisoned. In the private room, Kui Wuhu and the 5 poison boy stood up. The 5 poison boy left from the window, and Kui Wuhu left from the main door. The figure of the 5 poison boy is very iconic, so it is not easy to show up. After the 2 left the inn, they met in an alley and headed out of the city, but they were not very fast. The 5 poison boy put 5 layers of poison on Nichong. The 5th layer of poison will not take effect for the time being and needs medicine. After a while, Fairy Yunzai appeared beside the woman in white skirt. Many people have gone, but no suspicious people have been found. You should check them one by one at the entrance of the restaurant. And maybe you can find out. If that happens, we will be in danger. They will deal with us too. We are just here to see how things develop. We just need to pass the news back. Too much involvement will bring us danger. Let's go outside the city and see what the other party will do next, the woman in white skirt said. At this time, on a huge open space outside the city, Nichong's carriage stopped in the middle of the open space. Xiao Mang stood next to the carriage, and Cheng Wu and Nichong were in the carriage. Whoosh! A figure in a green robe galloped from a distance. Seeing this green figure, Xiao Mang immediately stepped forward. Hello, Elder Qing. The person who came was an old man, about 60 years old, with a black beard and a fierce aura. Hearing Xiao Mang's voice, Nai Chong and Cheng Wu walked out of the carriage. "Hello, master." "Hello, Elder Qing. This old man in green is Nai Chong's master, and also the master who protected Nai Chong on his way to the capital this time. His strength is in the 8 difficulties of heaven and man." "How come there are only 3 of you left?" Qing Lao said in a deep voice. "Master, in the 4th batch, the other party left only 3 of us, and all the others died," Nai Chong said. Hearing Nai Chong's words, Qing Lao looked solemn. The person who attacked was too good at using poison, and killed all the guards on his side 4 times. Not only was the method vicious, but it also put psychological pressure on them, making them in a state of fear. The person who came was not simple. "I killed 2 of the 3 figures just now, and 1 escaped." Qing Lao was a little distressed when he spoke. When he killed the other 2, the woman blew a big mouth and threw a poison mist bomb. He was nervous for a while and stepped back a few steps. The woman took the opportunity to leave. Later, he found that it was an ordinary smoke bomb. "Master, should we wait here now, or leave immediately?" Nai Chong asked Qing Lao. "If we leave, we may not be able to go far before being caught up by the enemy. Moreover, it is so far to the capital, we cannot always be on guard against the enemy. We must find the person who poisoned us. Only by finding him can we be safe. Let's get in the carriage and wait for the other party to come." The old man went directly into the carriage after saying this. Nai Chong and Cheng Wu also followed in. Only Xiao Mang stayed outside the carriage. A quarter of an hour, 2/4 of an hour, time passed little by little. The carriage stayed here and waited. The night gradually fell, and the atmosphere became cold. On the city wall, Fairy Yunzai and the woman in white skirt looked at Nai Chong's carriage not far away. "Do you think that person will appear?" Yunzai said. "He should appear. The other party killed so many people of Nai Chong, and the rest should not be left," the woman in white skirt said. Just as they were talking, Fairy Yunzai's eyes suddenly changed, and she looked at the wide road outside the city gate. A figure wrapped in a black robe was slowly approaching this side. "Will he appear in person?" Fairy Yunzai murmured. The woman in the white dress stared at the figure in the black robe. She was wearing a bamboo hat and was wrapped in a black robe, giving people a completely hazy feeling. "Prince, Elder Qing, someone is coming," Xiao Mang said outside the carriage. "The blood pressure is suppressed, the heartbeat is very low. And the whole person is like a stone sculpture. Although it is like a stone sculpture, I can still sense the opponent's strength. It's just a matter of time." Elder Qing, who was sitting on the carriage, frowned and said. Cheng Wu beside him also frowned. "Elder Qing, Prince, should this person be eliminated?" Xiao Mang sent a voice to the carriage. "No matter who it is, if you get within 5 feet of the carriage, you will be killed on the spot." Elder Qing's voice sounded in Xiao Mang's ears. Xiao Mang narrowed his eyes and looked at the figure coming towards this side. He was filled with blood and murderous intent. In principle, he didn't want the other party to get close to the carriage, because then he would be in danger. Chapter 410, Suppressed by Poison, Crushed by Violence. The opponent's speed was not fast, but not slow either. He would soon approach the 5 zhang mark, and his figure had no intention of stopping. For a moment, Xiao Mang's eyes were full of brilliance, and his body was full of murderous intent. As long as the opponent entered the 5 zhang mark, he would launch a thundering attack. However, when the opponent's figure was about to approach the 5 zhang mark, he suddenly stopped. "Commander Xiao Mang, don't be so murderous," a deep voice came from the black-robed man. Hearing this voice, Xiao Mang's eyes suddenly changed, and the power gathered in his body instantly reached its peak like a furnace. The person who came was the one they were waiting for, and he had to strike first. He stepped on the ground and his figure rushed out instantly. Boom! The ground shook, and his figure was like thunder and lightning, attacking the black-robed man with rolling energy. Xiao Mang's attack, the aura exploded, forming a thunderous roar, and the air under Xiao Mang's fist suddenly made a sharp and piercing whistle. Boom! Xiao Mang's fist hit the opponent's body directly, but the opponent's figure disappeared and appeared on the other side. Xiao Mang immediately attacked that side, and the same thing happened again. On the city gate. What is Xiao Mang doing? He is attacking the air with all his strength. Yunzai looked at the scene under the city tower, a little puzzled. The black-robed man was standing far away at this time, coming towards the carriage. Xiao Mang was in another place, constantly attacking the air. He may have been hit by an illusion, or poisoned and lost his mind. Combined with the previous situation, this Xiao Meng should have lost his mind due to poisoning. At this time, the curtain of the carriage in front of Nai Chong had been lifted due to Xiao Meng's random punching and energy, and they saw Xiao Meng who was constantly punching. The three people in the carriage looked at this situation and their faces became very solemn. Xiao Meng, the old man Qing, walked out of the carriage, roared, and attacked Xiao Meng with energy. Xiao Meng paused when he heard the voice. But then, he attacked the old man Qing. Seeing this, the old man Qing's eyes condensed, and he moved his body. In the blink of an eye, he came in front of Xiao Meng, stretched out his claws, and directly grabbed the opponent's arm. Crack! He directly removed one of the opponent's arms, and then quickly removed the other arm. Finally, his legs hit Xiao Meng's leg joints as fast as lightning. Crack, crack, and both legs were broken. Ah! The next moment, Xiao Meng screamed and collapsed on the ground, screaming again and again. But his limbs were broken, so he could only roll on the ground and could not do anything else. What a cruel hand, the man in black robes not far away said. Who are you, and why did you attack the Prince of Liu Palace? After the old man Qin disabled Xiao Meng's limbs, he kicked Xiao Meng aside and looked at the man in black robes coldly. The man in black robes was Kui Wuhu in disguise. You have killed too many people in Liu Palace, and you don't need to know who others are. I am here to send you off today. Kui Wuhu's voice was very low, giving people a very gloomy feeling. That depends on whether you have the strength. At this time, Cheng Wu on the carriage moved, and his body turned into a black light and appeared in front of Kui Wuhu. He chopped down with his palm, like a long sword, with terrifying energy towards Kui Wuhu. Because he was afraid that Kui Wuhu had poison in his body, Cheng Wu directly used his palm to form a sword light and killed Kui Wuhu. He believed that with the energy condensed from his palm, he would be able to cut Kui Wuhu in half. It's not time for you to die yet, but you want to die? Kui Wuhu couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. Before he finished speaking, Cheng Wu suddenly felt that the energy in his body seemed to be emptied in an instant, and there was nothing left. The energy condensed from his palm also shattered at the first time. At this moment, a huge wave of blood and energy erupted from Kui Wuhu's body. This wave, combined with the energy in his body, formed a rising momentum. Boom! Then the whole person burst out instantly, punched out, and the energy on the fist in his hand was sharp, and punched directly into Cheng Wu, whose energy disappeared. Bang! The whole person flew backwards like a blood column, spitting out a mouthful of blood, with internal organs in the blood, and exhaled more than inhaled for a while. After a successful attack, Kui Wuhu did not stop. He shot out violently, came to Cheng Wu unscrupulously, and grabbed the other's head with his palm. Snap! The other's head was directly taken off. A stream of blood spurted out from his neck. Some cruel, some unscrupulous. Then why didn't Tan Qing take action? Fairy Yunzai looked at this scene with horror in her eyes, but asked in some confusion. That's because he thought that the person who appeared was not the one who poisoned. He was on guard against the poisoner, so he could only watch Cheng Wu being killed. It's just that I'm very curious about how the other party poisoned. Cheng Wu and Xiao Meng didn't show any signs of poisoning before. The woman in the white dress frowned. She was thinking all the time. Who are you, and how did they get poisoned? When did you poison them? The old man in the green robe looked at Kui Wuhu and asked in a deep voice. When he spoke, his body was full of energy, afraid that the other party would poison him. Although Cheng Wu and Xiao Meng were weaker than him, the other party could poison them, and he could also poison him. After thinking for a while, a pill appeared in his hand and he swallowed it directly. This is a detoxification pill, hoping it can help him. The antidote pill has no effect on this poison. To make you die with a clear mind, the poison was put on the carriage. As long as you touch the carriage, you will be poisoned. Of course, that is only the first of the 5 layers of poison. The second layer of poison is the death of the first 5 people. The third layer of poison is the death of 3 people at the city gate. The fourth layer is the food in the restaurant. As for the 5th layer, I won't tell you. Kui Wuhu didn't say the last layer of poison, nor did he say how it was put. You are not the one who poisoned. Let the one who poisoned come out. The green-robed old man looked at Kui Wuhu and said. While speaking, the green-robed old man took a step and rushed towards Kui Wuhu in an instant. He was so fast that he wanted to capture Kui Wuhu when he launched the 5th layer of poison, and get the antidote on Kui Wuhu's condition. Seeing the other parties move, Kui Wuhu smiled, clenched his palm into a fist, and punched out. The fist was like a thunder in summer, and there was a loud noise. Amid the loud noise, the green-robed old man who had made the move was startled and hesitated for a moment. During this moment of hesitation, he felt his heart suddenly beating, thump-thump, more and more violently, as if it would burst at any time. He quickly retreated, avoiding Kui Wuhu's punch, and landed next to the carriage, circulating his ki towards his heart to suppress the beating. Kui Wuhu's punch missed, but he turned around and continued to punch. His punch was like thunder, and it fell down with a bang. Not good. In this situation, the green-robed old man secretly said, and a trace of ki flowed through his arms, and then he met Kui Wuhu's thunder-like punch with the momentum of holding up the country. Boom! The fist shadow left behind a powerful torrent of sound, and a series of rumbling sounds rang out in an instant. Puff! The green-robed old man spat out a mouthful of blood, and his arm drooped a little. But at this moment, the green-robed old man turned and fled far away. He was so fast that he left Nai Chong on the carriage and fled. Kui Wu, who looked at the fleeing green-robed old man, sneered, and then slapped his palm, flipping the intact carriage cover directly. At this time, Nai Chong's face was pale. He wanted to say something, but he felt a blackness in front of his eyes, and the whole person fell on the ground on the carriage. Kui Wu, who stepped forward to help Nai Chong, and his body had turned and left quickly. Chapter 411 Murenfu, Mengcheng, Iron Palm Gang. Kui Wu, who wants to take Nai Chong, the son of King Liu, back to Liu Liking of the Grudge sect, to have Liu Liking kill him. Of course, if King Liu can't find Nai Chong's body, he will think that Nai Chong is not dead, and he will be more cautious, making things a little confusing. Should we follow him? Fairy Yunzai said as she looked at Kui Wu, who was carrying Nai Chong away. Although this person's realm is only at the level of the first level of heaven and man, he has a poison expert by his side to help him. If you and I follow him, I'm afraid there will be bad results. I don't want to put myself in danger, but I don't understand why Nai Chong didn't kill him directly, but took him away instead of looking dead. At this point, the woman in the white dress frowned slightly. In that case, whether Nai Chong will die or not has nothing to do with us. Just report this news to the sect. Let's go. Fairy Yunzai glanced at the direction Kui Wu, who left, and said. In the distance, Kui Wu, who was holding Nai Chong, had a slightly changed expression. He thought that the two people watching the fight would take action. But he didn't expect that the two people didn't move. He carried Nai Chong's body and left quickly. Nai Chong's matter fermented very quickly and spread out within a day. In the capital, in a small manner. In the room, Murenfu ended the circulation of qi in his body, stood up, and stepped out of the room. Xiaoroyan was standing outside the door. Murenfu walked out of the room. Xiaoroyan bowed and served, and now she is Murenfu's maid. Nai Chong, who came to the capital, was kidnapped and his life or death is unknown. There is only one person who took action. His strength is at the level of Shinran Yinan, but he is helped by a poison master. Nai Chong's teacher, a Shinran Banin warrior, was poisoned and killed. Xiaoroyan informed Murenfu of the information she got. Poisoning? That should be the work of the 5 poison boys, and he is the only one who has this method. It seems that Nai Chong is doomed to die, which is a good thing for us, Murenfu said softly. It's a good thing, but young master, the 12th prince wants you to go to Mengcheng to subdue the Iron Palm Gang of Mengcheng, Xiaoroyan said. The Iron Palm Gang, the 12th prince wants to occupy the interests of the waterway in Mengcheng. Now the Iron Palm Gang, it is rumored that it is secretly controlled by Yang Zan, the right governor of the inspectorate, one of the 3 divisions. The 12th prince wants to snatch the business from Yang Zan. Isn't it a bit too hasty? Murenfu frowned slightly and said. Young master, there are some rumors outside that Yang Zan is about to step down from the position of right governor, Xiaoroyan said. Retire? No wonder. But in this case, the Iron Palm Gang of Mengcheng will not only be favored by the 12th prince, but also by the other princes. Murenfu frowned slightly and said. Yes, I am collecting information in this regard. I believe that we will soon know which forces are interested in the Iron Palm Gang. However, this Iron Palm Gang is the largest gang in Mengcheng. It controls the 13 linked docks and the waters outside Mengcheng. It is powerful. Yang Zan was only cooperating with it before. It may be difficult to take them down to work for the 12th prince, Xiaoroyan said. Come with me to the palace. Find out the specific information of this Iron Palm Gang. After checking, we will find a way to take action, Murenfu said. Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you fight 100 battles without danger. While the two were talking, they walked out of the courtyard. After a while, they came to the 12th prince's mansion not far away. There were 4 guards in front of them. The guards were dressed in black and had a black longsword on their waists. The longsword exuded a cold aura, which showed that the strength of these 4 people was not simple. When they saw Murenfu, one of them stepped forward and said, "Hello, Mr. Muren." Murenfu nodded to the visitor and walked into the palace with Xiaoruan. He was now a guest of the palace, and he was also valued by the 12th prince and was given a token that allowed him to move around in the palace, so these servants did not stop him. In the banquet hall, the 12th Prince Liu he was holding a cup of tea. "Your Highness, Murenfu wants to see you." Murenfu walked outside the banquet hall, but did not step into the banquet hall, but bowed outside and said, "Murenfu, a descendant of the great Yan royal family, pays great attention to etiquette." Because of this, the 12th prince admired Murenfu very much, and Murenfu was not as unruly as the people in the martial arts world, so he was able to allow Murenfu to have the qualifications to move around in the palace in a short period of time. "Come in, Liu," he said. Murenfu stepped into the banquet hall and saluted the 12th prince. "Greetings, Your Highness, Muren, you are here for the matter of the Iron Palm Gang in Mengcheng, right?" Liu he waved his hand to let Murenfu sit down while speaking. However, Murenfu still stood and did not sit down. He said, "Yes, Your Highness, the Iron Palm Gang is the largest gang in Mengcheng. At this time, I am afraid that many people are watching. I came to see Your Highness mainly to ask Your Highness whether you need to hold back when you take action," Murenfu said softly. "In the struggle for interests, you and your life are at stake. You don't need to hold back. What's more, if you hold back, others may not hold back. At that time, you will be the one who dies," the 12th Prince Liu he said. "Then I understand this. Your Highness, rest assured, I will connect with the Iron Palm Gang, and help Your Highness get the help of the Iron Palm Gang," Murenfu said. "Okay, as long as you help me complete this matter, I will give you an unexpected good thing," the 12th Prince Liu he said. "Then I will wait for good news from Your Highness. I will go to the secret library to collect all the information of the Iron Palm Gang and then set off for Mengcheng," Murenfu said afterwards. "Okay. You are going to Mengcheng on my behalf this time. This is my royal decree. You should keep it with you. By the way, Yunhezi, a guest of the 7th Prince's mansion, will set off for the Iron Palm Gang in Mengcheng today." The 12th Prince handed the token on his waist to Murenfu and said something like this. "Your Highness, don't worry. Yunhezi can't make it to Mengcheng," Murenfu said with certainty after taking the royal decree. "Okay, Murenfu, you understand my thoughts," the 12th Prince said with a smile. "Then I will take my leave first. Your Highness, wait for my good news," Murenfu said after saluting and left. Taking Xiaoruan to the secret library to retrieve information about the Iron Palm Gang. "You trust him so much?" A woman in red walked out of the back hall, walked in front of Liu He, and sat in his arms. "Believe, why don't I believe him? I have already found out his background. Of course, this is not important. What is important is that I saw the desire for power in his eyes. I may not be able to give him other things, but as long as I succeed, I can give him power. There is nothing in the world that is trustworthy. The best bargaining chip that can prevent the other party from betraying is interest. Each party gets what they need," the 12th Prince said coldly. While speaking, the 12th Prince Liu he said, "What impact does Nichong's matter have on my 7th brother? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 412, Ke Jing disguises himself and meets the Marquis of Anking. Hearing the words of the 12th Prince, the Red Luo said, "After Nichong's accident, the 7th Prince seemed to be a little calm. Nichong's accident can be said to be a good thing for the 7th Prince. Previously, many people thought that the death of Princess Danyang was his problem. It is rumored that the King of Liu also wrote a letter to angrily rebuke the 7th Prince. Now that Nichong has an accident, it is obvious that the other party attacked the King of Liu's mansion and has nothing to do with him, so he has completely cleared himself from the matter of Princess Danyang," Hong Luo said in a deep voice. Indeed, I thought that the matter of Princess Danyang would drag him down for a while? I didn't expect that he would get away now. The 12th Prince Liu he frowned slightly. The position of the right governor of the inspectorate is proposed to be Zai Mufeng of the Zai family. You should contact this Zai Mufeng recently, see if you can pull him to my side, then the 12th prince said. The Zai family has not cooperated with any princes for the time being. I am afraid that it will be difficult for Zai Mufeng to cooperate with us, the woman of the red luo said in a deep voice. Let's contact them first and see if we can gain anything. But what do you think of the recently appeared evil alliance? Liu he frowned and said. Evil alliance, we investigated it, but we didn't dare to investigate it deeply. There is a great terror behind them. They suggested that we should not investigate it or have any contact with them. Hong Luo frowned and said. It's not that I don't want to contact them, but they sent me a visiting card. A visiting card appeared in the hand of the 12th Prince Liu He, and he said with a bad face. The Xianjianzi has officially wanted the evil alliance. But at this time, the evil alliance sent him a visiting card, which made Liu He very angry. This evil alliance didn't take him, the 12th prince, seriously. I sent you a visiting card. Do you think someone is using the evil alliance to explore our background? Do you want me to apply to the higher-ups for some masters to come and sit in the mansion? Hong Luo looked at the visiting card, and walked down from the arms of the 12th prince, and said with a serious look, it's time to send some experts here to let people outside know about the background of my 12th prince. Liu He nodded. At this time, in another place, in the study of the residence of left Prime Minister Ke Jing, a young man in a white robe was standing in front of Ke Jing with his head bowed. Ke Jing was writing on the straw paper. Is the knife confirmed to be in the Xianjian division? Who has it now? Ke Jing did not stop his movements and asked in a deep voice. Reporting to the adults, the knife has not been returned to the Xianjian division. It is now in the hands of Princess Qingchen, the young man in the white robe in front of him said in a deep voice. I didn't expect that the long knife that was finally made after spending a huge amount of money would fall into the hands of Princess Qingchen. It seems that she has completely taken control of the Xianjian division. Ke Jing's face showed a solemn look. He had not taken Murin Qingchen seriously before, but after the Feng family changed this time, he had to pay attention to Murin Qingchen. Now Murin Qingchen is not dead. And the news that he is still in charge of the Xianjian division has gradually spread. Murin Qingchen and the 4th prince were born of the same mother. She was in charge of the Heavenly Supervision Department, which meant that the 4th prince had an extra helper in the court. This made the 4th prince's strength rise again. He looked at some people who were in contact with the 4th prince. Why didn't the Knight Emperor of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower take action at that time? Do you understand? I have secretly contacted Bai Tianyu and asked him about it. Bai Tianyu needs to ask questions before telling me. The young man frowned and said. Is that so? For the time being, don't contact Bai Tianyu, so as to avoid any problems. Send other people to meet with Bai Tianyu and say that I will meet them at Kiwei Small Tower tonight. I will come to personally investigate the Knight Emperor, and, future, the people who had previously contacted the Knight Emperor were killed, and now he wants to meet the Knight Emperor, and, future, in person. Of course, he now has the confidence to meet others. That was because he had absorbed so much virgin blood, and his strength had successfully reached the stage of Danshan turning into the sea. The meaning of Danshan turning into the sea is that the power in the Danshan is like the sea, endless. In addition, he practiced the 2 domineering techniques of blood soul slashing soul technique, and sea covering dragon whale technique, and he could also occupy a place among the warriors who had Danshan turning into the sea. Subordinates, I will go to see Bai Tianyu now. After the white-robed young man finished speaking, he headed towards the right corner of the study, and did not go through the main door. He twisted a tiger-shaped carving on the bookshelf next to him, and a door appeared. He stepped into it. Not long after the white-robed young man left, Ke Jing's body began to change dramatically. His whole body seemed to be shaking. His body, which had originally looked a little thin, began to gradually become bully. His face also changed, and his originally thin face became wider. His height was also gradually changing, and finally Ke Jing's appearance completely changed, turning into a burly middle-aged man. Emperor Knight hopes that you will give me a reasonable explanation when we meet, otherwise. Ke Jing made a rough sound, which was completely different from before. It is not known whether this is his real body or the previous appearance is his real body. If this is the real body, then it indicates that something big has happened in the court of the Great Zhou dynasty. After Jing finished speaking, his figure also walked into the secret passage. After a while, Jing walked out of a small courtyard not far away. He was not heading towards Kiwai's small building, but towards the Anking Marquis's mansion. The matter of Feng Jiazhuang. Only Anking Marquis and the carriage servants came back alive. As soon as they came back, they closed the door and did not see anyone. Originally, Jing was still thinking about waiting for Anking Marquis to come and contact him, but he did not expect that after waiting for so many days, Anking Marquis had not made any movement. Then he had to come to Anking Marquis. When approaching Anking Marquis's mansion, Jing felt that he was being stared at by three eyes. The people of Xianjianxi are still staring at Anking Marquis's mansion. No wonder this Anking Marquis is hiding in the mansion and not coming out, Jing said in his heart. In front of the Marquis's mansion, two guards stood at the door with sabers on their backs, motionless. Marquis Anking was a powerful marquis who held the military power of the area. The guards of the Marquis's mansion were selected from the army he commanded. "Who are you? Please stop," a guard saw Jing coming forward and said. "Please give this visiting card to Marquis Anking. By the way, the elixir he needs has been refined over there and can be obtained." A visiting card appeared in Jing's hand, and he said this. The guard glanced at Jing, turned around and entered the mansion. After a while, the guard came out. "Please follow me, the Marquis is waiting for you in the banquet hall." After that, he took Jing into the mansion. When Jing walked into the Marquis's mansion, a flying pigeon took off in the dark. In the banquet hall, when Marquis Anking saw Jing coming, his face turned cold and he said, "Shouldn't you, Evil Alliance, give me an explanation for the Feng Jiazhuang incident?" In the Feng Jiazhuang incident, Marquis Anking, suffered the greatest loss. Jing Tao, the top expert in the Marquis's mansion, was killed by Evil Emperor. Although he blamed Evil Emperor and wanted to kill Evil Emperor, if Evil Alliance hadn't asked him out, this would not have happened. Can you tell me about the situation at that time? The purpose of Jing's coming today was to know the situation at that time. He didn't quite understand the news from the outside world. He needed to verify it with Marquis Anking in person. I wrote a little slowly because I had a cold, please forgive me. Chapter 413, Anking Marquis's wife, Qiao Feng appears in Jiangnan Luocheng. Silence. Jing in the banquet hall fell silent after hearing the narration of Anking Hao. After a moment, he said, "Are you saying that the strength of the Emperor of Night has reached the point where the inner energy has turned into the sea? The most important issue for warriors is strength, and everything else can be ranked last." "Yes. Otherwise, how could the number one expert in Anking Hao's mansion die in the hands of the other party?" Seeing Jing say this, Anking Hao's face turned cold. "This does not mean to belittle the number one expert in your mansion, but I am a little surprised by the strength of the Emperor of Night." After a brief surprise, Jing's expression recovered. "Just now, the guard outside my mansion said that you brought the things I wanted," Anking Hao said at this time. "Of course, this is our sincerity and cooperation." Jing took out a jade bottle from his bosom and said, "There are 2-3 dragon pattern pills in this bottle, which should be able to help you, Xianwu True Dragon Strength, break through to the next level." Anking Hao did not hesitate, and took the jade bottle and said, "My Anking Hao mansion and Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower have already made enemies, so I will deal with Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower next." From the conversation of the visitor, he knew that the other party was in contact with Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, so he first made things clear. "Is it better to resolve the enemy than to make it? I will meet Yi Di tonight. I hope to see the attitude of Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower after I meet, and then the Marquis will take action. How about it?" Jing said in a deep voice. Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower and Anking Hao are both useful to him, so he hopes that the two families will not conflict. Of course, as for Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, he still needs to meet him before he can finally determine his attitude. "I can wait for a day," Anking Hao said. "Thank you, Lord. I'll take my leave now." After saying that, Jing didn't stay here any longer and turned to leave. After Anking Hao left, a woman in a purple skirt walked out from the dark. "Do you think this person is the third leader of the Evil Alliance?" Anking Hao looked at the purple skirt woman and said, "This person has a strong aura and gives people a sense of unfathomable depth. It is indeed possible. How about I follow him?" the purple skirt woman said. "He will be discovered. Take these 2 pills for inspection. If there is no problem, keep one for inspection to see if you can refine an equal pill. Send the other one to me. I want to use it to break through the next level of Xian Wu's Henlong Jin. Although Anking Hao is not very old, he is very cautious in doing things. Although he knows that the evil alliance still needs him as an ally for the time being and will not attack him. But no matter what, we must be prepared for the worst. Yes, the purple skirt woman put the pill back. We need to find a more powerful pharmacist, otherwise the subsequent elixirs cannot be refined. I can't always rely on the evil alliance and cultivate the Xian Wu's Henlong Jin to the last level, Anking Hao said. I have roughly locked on 3 people and am now observing them. After confirmation, I will invite them with a large sum of money, the purple skirt woman said. Okay, Anking Hao nodded, and then said, is Murin Qingchen still in Feng Jiazhuang? Murin Qingchen is still in Feng Jiazhuang, but there is news from the Heavenly Supervision Division that the 3 elders of the Heavenly Supervision Division have completely recognized Murin Qingchen's status. It is estimated that after a while, Murin Qingchen will become the new generation of the Heavenly Supervision Division, the purple skirt woman said. Is that so? Anking Hao frowned slightly. Murin Qingchen has been eyeing him in the matter of Feng Jiazhuang. Once Murin Qingchen takes the position of the Heavenly Supervision Division, he will probably be watched all the time. You go down first, Anking Hao waved his hand. The purple-dressed woman bowed and left the banquet hall. At this time, a person outside the hall was stepping in. Hello, madam, the purple-dressed woman bowed and walked out of the banquet hall. The person was dressed elegantly, about 28 or 29 years old, graceful, wearing a white long skirt, with light blue lotus embroidered on the cuffs, gold and silver edges, and a wide white piece wrapped around the chest, which was very obvious. She walked gracefully, looking a little luxurious, giving people a very beautiful feeling. The wife of the Marquis of Anking, one of the most beautiful women in the capital. She walked into the hall slowly, showing a very high aristocratic cultivation, not like a warrior. When the Marquis of Anking saw his wife coming, he stepped forward and held the woman's arm. Madam, why are you in the front hall? The Marquis of Anking asked softly. You have been trapped at home for so long, why don't I come to ask? The woman spoke. Her voice was like the sound of orchids in the valley, and there was a hint of natural charm in the orchids. Madam, I will take care of this matter, Anking Hao said softly. My husband, you and I are one, there are some things I still need to know. The woman's voice changed from gentle to somewhat stern. Anking Hao's fiefdom is in the Baiansu area. The Baiansu area is as for the 5 counties. The most powerful of these 5 counties is a force called Qilin 12 Caves. Anking Hao's wife Miao Rua Feng is the daughter of Miao Badian, the master of the Qilin 12 Caves. However, Anking Hao has always felt that Miao Rua Feng is not Miao Badian's daughter, because Miao Badian is big and strong, and Miao Rua Feng is as beautiful as a fairy, which is not proportional at all. However, doubts are doubts. He can marry such a beauty and form an alliance with the Qilin 12 Caves, so that he can completely control the Baiansu area. Why not? I have been in contact with the evil alliance recently and was targeted by Murin Qingchen. I am afraid that Murin Qingchen will not be very friendly to me when he is in charge of the Heavenly Supervision Division, Anking Hao said. You are in contact with the evil alliance. The evil alliance has only appeared in recent years. They are very extreme in their actions and seem to have some purpose. It is best for you to stop contacting them. Madam Anking heard this and said in a deep voice. They have the dragon pattern pill I need, which is the 3rd level. I need such a pill to break through the Xianwu true dragon strength, Anking Hao said. Although Madaman is as beautiful as a fairy, Anking Hao does not tell Madaman everything. Now that the other party asked, he did not hide it. 3rd level dragon pattern pill, this evil alliance can actually refine such a pill. Madam Anking was a little surprised. Madam, this time you come here, it should not be just to ask these things, there should be other things. Anking Hao changed the subject. There is one thing. The Namhe Chamber of Commerce will hold a rare treasure conference in the capital in 3 days. You will go with me then, Madam Anking said. The Namhe Chamber of Commerce will hold a rare treasure conference? Anking Hao's expression moved slightly when he heard this. Madam, you and the president of the Namhe Chamber of Commerce are best friends. I wonder if we can participate in the Namhe Chamber of Commerce's Rare Treasures Conference this time, Anking Hao said. My lord, Is there a problem with your funds? With the support of the money gang, you should not be short of money. Madam Anking looked at Anking Hao and said. Jin Yuling died, and now the money gang has cut off its financial support to me. They said that they need to wait for the leader of the money gang to come out of seclusion before they can continue to cooperate with me, Anking Hao said in a deep voice. The land of Bai Tianyu is inherently poor, with too little tax revenue, and it can barely supply his army. However, in order to improve the strength of warriors, elixirs are needed, and a large number of elixirs are too expensive. Previously, with the support of the money gang, he did not feel the pressure. Now that the money gang has cut off his supply, he needs to find other ways to make money. Nanhai Chamber of Commerce settled in the capital 3 years ago and opened a large and luxurious business in the capital. The things inside are all rare treasures found in the South China Sea area, which are not available in the inland areas, especially the wide and round pearls, which are very popular among the ladies of the capital. Of course, there will be some treasure auctions from time to time to increase the popularity of this South China Chamber of Commerce. If he can occupy a floor in the South China Chamber of Commerce, he will surely be able to relieve the current pressure. Hearing what Anking Hao said, Madam Anking frowned slightly. You are trying to hit the South China Chamber of Commerce. South China Chamber of Commerce is very deep. I advise you not to have such an idea. Can you help me make an appointment with Madam Ruai first and listen to her ideas? Anking Hao didn't care whether the Hainan Chamber of Commerce was deep or not. He only knew that he needed to get out of the predicament, even if it was just to solve a little first. Okay, then I'll help you contact it. I'll go to see her in the afternoon and make an appointment for you. Although Madam Anking frowned slightly, she finally nodded. Jin Feng Xiaoyu Tower. Nalan Rongayan held an invitation in her hand and placed it in front of Bai Chaofei. 3 days later, the Namhai Chamber of Commerce will hold a rare treasure fair and invite you and me to participate, Nalan Rongayan said. The Namhai Chamber of Commerce's rare treasure fair invites you and me to participate. Bai Chaofei was stunned. He knew that the Namhai Chamber of Commerce was attended by some noble ladies and daughters in the capital, and it was mainly engaged in women's business. This time, there are other treasures in the rare treasure fair, so when they invited 2 people, Nalan Rongayan said. Then let's go and take a look, and it's a good opportunity to meet some dignitaries in the capital. Bai Chaofei said. What's going on in the Anking Marcus mansion? Bai Chaofei asked. Nothing happened, but he seems to be having a hard time. The money gang has cut off his financial support. Although his other businesses are profitable, they cannot support his consumption, but someone went to see Marcus Anking today, and someone has asked someone to draw his face. Nalan Rongayan pulled out a painting from her sleeve and placed it in front of Bai Chaofei. The top expert in Marcus Anking's mansion died at the hands of I Emperor. Bai Chaofei had to pay attention to Marcus Anking. This person came out very soon after entering Marcus Anking's mansion. The people we arranged failed to keep an eye on him, Nalan Rongayan said in a deep voice. Maybe he is from Evil Alliance, Bai Chaofei said. Hearing Bai Chaofei say that the other party is from the Evil Alliance, Nalan Rongayan's eyebrows moved slightly and said, Isn't the third leader of Evil Alliance going to see Lord I Emperor tonight? Why would he send someone to Marcus Anking's mansion at this time? Maybe he wants to know what happened in the mountains a few days ago, Bai Chaofei said. In that case, the 3 leaders of the Evil Alliance will know that the long sword passed from our hands to Murin Kingshan's hands, Nalan Rongayan said. We are only in a cooperative relationship with the Evil Alliance, but there is no binding force. Moreover, after today, whether to cooperate or not is another matter. However, the affairs of Anking Hao and the Evil Alliance are all decided by Lord Yi, so we don't have to worry about it. We just need to do what we have to do. You have time to find out what special items will appear in this Namhai Chamber of Commerce's Rare Treasures Conference. The young master likes such things very much. If possible, make some things and send them to the young master, Bai Chaofei said. Bai Chaofei knows the role of some rare treasures on Su Chen. The Great Zhou Dynasty, Jiangnan, has the richest land in the Great Zhou Dynasty. The entire Jiangnan area has 18 counties. Although it is only 18 counties, the area of each county is twice that of other counties. It can be said that the 18 counties in the Jiangnan area are equivalent to the 36 counties in the outer counties. It is the largest area in the entire Great Zhou Dynasty. Of course, because the area is large, The forces here are complicated. Chen County. Liu Chen. Adak. Qiao Feng and the three elders walked out of a black boat, all three of them wearing bamboo hats. It was drizzling outside, and although it didn't move, it would wet the clothes. Wearing a white bamboo hat would avoid the drizzle. Boss, why did we choose Liu Cheng in Chen County? Chen County itself is in the middle area among the 18 counties in Jiangnan, and Liu Cheng is even more average. I'm afraid it will lag behind in development here, an old man holding a bamboo stick beside him said. The old man had 9 pockets hanging around his waist. There were 2 other people holding bamboo sticks next to the old man, with 8 pockets around their waists. Chen County governs 24 cities, 8 of which are in the downstream area, and Liu Cheng is in the middle. Every year during the rainy season, the 8 downstream cities will encounter some flood disasters, and many people will drift to the Luo River. In that case, there will be many beggars in Liu Cheng. And it's time for us to recruit people from the beggar gang, Qiao Feng said. Boss, it's no problem to gather these beggars, but there will be plagues in the flood. If we gather these people, we may need to beware of the plague and prepare a lot of medicines, the 9-bag elder beside him said. Yes, the plague is useless to people with cultivation like us, but it is still very dangerous for people below the innate level. However, we are new here and may not be able to prepare a large amount of such medicines, an 8-bag elder said. Before coming, I checked some information about Chen County. There are 3 major forces in Liu Cheng. Among them, the Luo gang is openly engaged in water and land business, but secretly engaged in human trafficking. If we do this, it may affect their interests, another 8-bag elder said. It doesn't matter if it affects their interests. Our beggar gang was the largest gang in the world before, so we still have to become the largest gang in the world when we come to this world. It's good if the Luo gang and us are at peace, but if they have any intentions towards us, I don't mind going to the Luo gang in person, Qiao Feng said very heroically. But the power behind the Luo gang is the Lai family, the maternal clan of the 7th prince. In this case, we may face the Lai family, Elder Jiubeo said in a deep voice. Don't worry. Recently, the eldest prince has taken action against the power of the maternal clan of the 7th prince, although the 7th prince's uncle, Lai's Hanbei, the first master of the Lai family, returned to the Jiangnan Lai family to take charge, which changed some of the situation. It still has not changed completely. Even if we destroy the Luo gang, it will not attract the attention of the Lai family to a certain extent. If we gain a foothold here, our beggars sect can begin to radiate Chen County. After covering Chen County, we can start to spread to the entire Jiangnan area, Qiao Feng said. Let's go to the city first and see the market where elixirs are circulated in the city. If you want to prepare a large amount of medicine, you need to find a cooperative elixir seller to make a large amount of Qingling Dan, an elixir that prevents plague. Chapter 414, Evil Alliance, Plague and Riots. Shan Gate's huge Hangwo and Yuan Su Ayan stood in front of Su Chen. My lord, the 9 northern counties are stable now. I have prepared a list of resources that all local forces need to hand over. Zhuge Zhangwo is now helping Su Chen manage the entire 9 northern counties alliance. To become the overlord of the 9 northern counties, it is impossible not to let subordinate forces provide resources, otherwise, this martial arts overlord is just a false name. My lord, this matter needs to be implemented quickly. We have spent too much recently, and the business of Qingling Club continues to be sluggish. I am afraid that we can no longer receive any big business in the 9 northern counties. After all major forces know that you are the young master of Qingling Club. Qingling Club is the overlord of the 9 northern counties, and they dare not cause trouble on their own territory. Also, the personnel expansion of the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower is supported. The consumption of its own resources is about to consume the resources previously obtained, so the collection needs to be carried out as soon as possible, Yuan Su Ayan said on the side. Is that so? Hearing Yuan Su Ayan's words, Su Chen felt a little regretful. He was in charge of the 9 northern counties as the young master of the Qingling Club. His reputation was created, but the things in his pocket did not become more. I'll trouble you, Mr. Zhuge. For this matter, Zhuge Zhangwo was not only the owner of the Shinhao mansion in his previous life, but also the Grand Tutor, the top person in the 6 gates. There was no problem in taking charge of the 9 northern counties. Yes, then I will start to send a letter and ask them to send part of this year's resources first. Many martial arts forces in the 9 northern counties have changed, and it can be said that the losses are huge. Some of them have come to power, but they may not be able to collect enough resources to be handed over in such a short time, so Zhu Zhengwo is going to collect part of it first. Su Chen nodded. After Zhu Zhengwo left, Su Chen looked at Yuan Suiyan and said, "The resources of Shenmen cannot be less, otherwise, there will be problems. Jin Feng Xiaolao has just entered the capital and needs support. Gu Santong is in charge of the Ghost domain, and Du Wudi is competing with Xiantian sect, so the resource consumption is very high. Many times, it is not a matter of personal strength. It is impossible for masters to take action at every turn. So more people are needed. Suan, do you think we have spread our straw a little too much, which has led to the current situation?" Su Chen stood up and said with his hands behind his back. "My lord, the assassin mission of the King Longhu needs to be resumed as soon as possible. According to the date and itinerary, Qiao Feng should have arrived in Deluo City, Chang County, Jiangnan. I am afraid he also needs a lot of resources. Lian Chengbi and Murongfu do not need resource support for the time being. Lian Chengbi built a Wuge Villa on the edge of the Bihu Lake outside Sucheng in the central area of Jiangnan. The one who funded the construction of the villa is Li Yimei, the daughter of the Jiangnan wealthy merchant Li family," Yuan Suiyan said. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes moved slightly. "You mean, the Wuge Villa, established by Lian Chengbi was funded by Li Yimei, the daughter of the wealthy Li family? How did Lian Chengbi get in touch with Li Yimei?" Su Chen asked in confusion. "When Lian Chengbi entered Jiangnan, he accidentally saved Li Yimei from the hands of the cauliflower thief Yu Dianhong, and the Li family is just a businessman. There is no martial arts talent in the family, so the Li family's help to Lian Chengbi is considered an early investment," Yuan Suiyan said. "The Li family has a good vision and can see that Lian Chengbi is extraordinary. In this case, Lian Chengbi's Wuge Villa does not need our support in the early stage," Su Chen said. "My lord, Yi Di met with the three leaders of Zumeng, and mentioned something that is related to Luocheng where Qiao Feng is now," Yuan Suiyan said with a serious expression. "Related to Luocheng where Qiao Feng is?" Seeing Yuan Suiyan's serious expression, Su Chen asked with some doubts. "The Evil Alliance wants to use the intelligence capabilities of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower to spread the news of the plague and riots in Luocheng," Yuan Suiyan said. Qiao Feng's report didn't say there was a plague in Luocheng. Su Chen felt something was wrong, but then he understood. "You mean the people from the Evil Alliance want to create a plague and riots in Luocheng?" "Yes, and the layout of this matter should have begun, or it should have been completed, waiting for floods in the downstream areas of Chang County. According to my investigation, the rainy season in Chang County has begun, and the water volume this year is higher than in previous years," Yuan Suiyan said. "What do the Evil Alliance want to do? Create a plague, riots, and fight against the court? Has the evil emperor found out?" Su Chen couldn't figure out what the other party wanted to do. The Great Zhou dynasty was still in its heyday, and the plague and riots could only be said to be sparks that could be easily eliminated. What was the other party's intention in doing this? It's not clear from the Night Emperor's side. Although Lord Night Emperor met the three leaders of the Evil Alliance, judging from the aura and other details, the other party may not have met him in his true colors, Yuan Suiyan said. "Is that so? Then you notify Qiao Feng to pay attention to this situation, and report to me about Luocheng as soon as there is any situation. I always feel that there is something hidden behind this matter." Su Chen is in Lingnan County, which is far away from Jiangnan. Even if he doesn't want to see this situation, he can't stop it. Moreover, according to the situation, the other party should have completed the layout. Now he can only see what the other party wants to do. "I will write a letter to Qiao Feng immediately," Yuan Suiyan said. "Isn't Zihanayu going to deal with the Xiantian sect? Why is there no movement at all? Since Gu Santong fought with Hongmu Feng, the head of the Xiantian sect, Zihanayu of the Hanayu sect seemed to have disappeared. I haven't contacted Miss Hanayu recently. I guess after seeing Hongmu Feng's strength, they have some reservations and dare not attack the Xiantian sect," Yuan Suiyan said in a deep voice. "But the Xiantian sect is a threat and needs to be eliminated," Su Chen said. "Although the Ghost Domain is now in constant conflict with the Xiantian sect outside the Great Wall, and casualties are increasing, masters above the Heavenly Man realm rarely fight. In this regard, the Ghost Domain gathered by Dugu Wudi has a larger number of people. But the results of the battle are not much superior. From the current situation, The Xiantian sect intends to delay them in this way. Do we have spies in the Xiantian sect? Su Chen asked. Except for the Nanshan disciples led by the Nanshan Lord Mu Fengyan and the people from the 3 mountain ranges who appeared later, there is no one else in the Xiantian sect, and the Xiantian sect has been completely closed, only in and not out. Our people can't go to explore at all, even if they go in, they can't get out. Yuan Suyin told the situation of the Xiantian sect it's so strict. It seems that something might have happened in the Xiantian sect. I guess Zihanayu must know about this. Contact her again. I want to know what happened in the Xiantian sect. Also tell Zihanayu that the Ghost Domain has contacted the Qinglong Society and asked the Qinglong Society to send assassins to deal with the Xiantian sect. Then I will contact Zihanayu again. After saying that, Yuan Suyin bowed and left the room. Host's subordinate, Xiong Angshan, alias Ma Kongguan, became the martial arts leader of Xiong County in the north of Xiling, and was rewarded with 2 orange lottery cards. At this time, a prompt message appeared in Su Chen's mind. Xiong Angshan alias Ma Kongguan became the martial arts leader of Xiong County in the northern part of Xiling. Su Chen recalled the information of Xiong County. Xiong County is close to the 9 northern counties. It is the smallest area among the 11 counties in the west of Lingxi, and it is also the most chaotic area. He didn't expect Xiong Angshan to become the martial arts leader of Xiong County in such a short time. Chapter 415, Qinglong Society, Moves, Xiantian Sect, Moves. A powerful hero is a hero wherever he is. Su Chen could only comment like this. Xiong Angshan had appeared when killing Jin Yuling, but he only showed his name. No one had seen his face, so he appeared in Xiangjin under the alias Ma Kongguan, and no one knew that he was from Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Now let's see what Zihanayu's response is. Xiantian sect, you are a threat, so I will eliminate you. Su Chen decided to let Qinglong Society cooperate with Ghost Domain once. He wanted Ghost Domain to give Qinglong Society a task. In this way, who can say anything when Qinglong Society takes action? If Xiantian sect can be destroyed by this, then the reputation of Qinglong Society will be further improved. In the future, Qinglong Society will appear in other areas and can quickly receive tasks. Now let's see if Zihanayu can provide any good news, Su Chen murmured. Then his consciousness fell on the disc in his mind. The number displayed on the lottery card was 6 orange lottery cards and 3 blue lottery cards. If Xiong Angshan gets 2 orange lottery cards, I actually only got 4 orange lottery cards in so many days. The number is a bit small. Su Chen couldn't help but sigh. Recently, he continued to read some books, but he rarely triggered them. However, his own strength has increased a lot. With the support of resources, his current realm has begun to move towards the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. I believe that he will be able to enter the 3 difficulties of heaven and man in a short time. The matter of Xiantian sect has come to an end, and I should go to the capital, Su Chen thought to himself. Draw out the 6 orange lottery cards. The host draws 3 bottles of Shinran Dan and 3 bottles of Xingyin Dan 10 pills bottle. Su Chen's luck is not very good. He only drew the elixir and nothing else. I thought you would give me some characters, but I didn't expect you would just give me pills, Su Chen sighed. Needless to say, Shinran pill can help warriors who have achieved unity of spirit and soul to enter the Shinran realm. Xingyin pill is a pill taken by Shinran realm warriors, which can increase the cultivation of Shinran realm. It is a good pill, but after all, it is not as fragrant as a character. Su Chen did not get what he wanted, so he used the pills to continue to improve his strength. He was thinking about how to deal with Xiantian sect. Another place. Zihanayu's face was very bad. I didn't expect that Home Feng had already discovered that our people were lurking in Xiantian sect. This time, we were fishing for our people, but we didn't expect Xianaya Pavilion to send out a strong man like Gu Santong. What are our losses? Zihanayu asked in a deep voice. The people lurking in Xiantian sect have basically been dealt with, leaving only some servants, and these servants are not very useful. Beside her, Elder Yin in a gray robe spoke. That means all of us in the Xiantian sect were wiped out, Zihanayu said in a deep voice. That's roughly it. There is one last person who sent a message about the Ghost Domain. After the Xiantian sect has dealt with the affairs in the mountain, it will take action against the Ghost Domain, Elder Yin said. If they take action against the Ghost Domain, The ghost domain has masters like Gu Santong, and the Xiantian sect cannot take them down. Moreover, they may not be able to find Dugu Wudi and others. The ghost domain is always shrouded in black fog, and it is difficult to enter without guidance. The disciples led by the Xiantian sect may also force their way in. In this case, the losses will be great. The Xiantian sect will not make such a mistake. Zhu Hanyu shook her head. This matter was obtained from the close followers of Home Yufeng. It should be correct. It seems to be related to the two long swords obtained by the ghost domain, Elder Yin said. Is that so? Hearing Elder Yin say this, Zhu Hanyu believed it in her heart. At this time, another old man came in and said, Saintess, Yuan Su Ayan of Shan sect sent a message. They want to know what happened in Xiantian sect. They said that Dugu Wudi of Ghost Domain contacted King Long Club and asked King Long Club masters to deal with Xiantian sect. Xiantian sect is trying to deal with the Ghost Domain, and Ghost Domain is also asking King Long Club to take action. It seems that our chance has come. Tell Yuan Su Ayan to tell them the real situation of Xiantian sect also. Home Yufeng may find the stronghold of Ghost Domain with the two long swords left behind at that time, Zhu Hanyu said. The next day Su Chen got up according to his usual schedule and then went to the main hall. Yuan Su Ayan was already waiting in the hall. Master, Zhu Hanyu sent a message saying that the Xiantian sect closed the mountain to deal with the people they arranged in the Xiantian sect. Also, Home Yufeng may have found the place where Dugu Wudi and others in the ghost domain are with the two long swords left behind when the seven swords went down the mountain. Yuan Su Ayan informed Su Chen of the news he got from Zhu Hanyu. Is there a problem with the long sword? Could it be that Home Yufeng deliberately left a long sword at that time? It seems that I have to go to the ghost domain, Su Chen said in a deep voice. Gu Santong's strength is about the same as Home Yufeng. Once Gu Santong is surrounded, he may not be able to rescue Guan Qi and Dugu Wudi. Then even if Gu Santong does not die, Dugu Wudi and Guan Qi may not survive. It's a good opportunity to destroy the masters of the Xiantian sect, Su Chen said. He has Tai's Hongtang's experience card here. It should be no problem for the two of them to suppress or kill Home Yufeng together. Even if other warriors appear, Su Chen will be able to destroy them with the five masters of the Qinglong Society. Perhaps this is a good thing to catch a turtle in a jar. You go and inform Ding Peng, Yan Nanshan, Li Chen's-hao, Zhu Yiren, Liu Sheng Yijin and five others to go with me to the ghost realm, outside the Great Wall, Su Chen said. As for Zhu Hanyu, we also need to pay attention to her every move. I'm afraid that the Hanyu sect wants to watch the snipe and the clam fight so that they can reap the benefits, Su Chen ordered. Yes, I will find them here, keep a close eye on them, Yuan Su Ayan said. Also, during the time I'm away from the Great Wall, the five poison boys should come back, and the matters of the garrison need to be further carried out, Su Chen ordered. Yes, Yuan Su Ayan immediately went to inform Ding Peng and others. Soon, in the dark of Shen Gate, 6 figures wearing bamboo hats left the back mountain of Shen Gate and headed for the Great Wall. Another place outside the Great Wall, Wonking River. This is the largest gathering place for people at the foot of the Xiantian sect, in a small palace. Nanshan Lord Mu Fengyun looked at the letter in his hand, his face showing joy, and said to the 3 people standing beside him, the headmaster has completed the cleansing of traitors in the sect, and will secretly lead the masters down the mountain to meet us tomorrow. The headmaster is secretly coming to meet us. Is he going to destroy the ghost domain in one fell swoop? One of the middle-aged women in red said. The middle-aged woman was Ruan Hongai, the leader of the Xianmang sect, one of the 3 branches under the Xiantian sect, who had just been born. The details will be known when the headmaster comes. You stay in the base for the time being, don't go out, and I will notify you when the headmaster comes. Mu Fengyun didn't say much, just told them to wait for the headmaster Home Yufeng to arrive. Seeing this, the red-clothed woman didn't ask any more questions and walked out of the palace with the other 2. Chapter 416 Home Yufeng goes down the mountain again, unwilling to be a vassal. The 3 walked out of the hall. You 2, come to my place for a gathering, one of the burly men in a gray robe and a tiger tooth necklace said. Okay, the woman in red and the other middle-aged man in white nodded at the same time. The 3 came to a courtyard. Do you know what happened inside the Xiantian sect? The woman in red said as she sat down. Sister in red, we don't need to know what happened inside the Xiantian sect. I asked you to come here to ask you about the action of the ghost domain this time. What do you think, Brother Zhou? The middle-aged man in white, who had not spoken before, couldn't help but speak when he saw this. I have an idea. Behind the ghost domain is the Xian'ai Pavilion. Currently, only one pavilion master, Gu Santong, has come to the Xian'ai Pavilion, but he has blocked Hong Yufeng. This shows how powerful it is. Although we are affiliated with the Xian'an sect, it is not 20 years ago after all. The situation has changed and the forces have changed. Even if Hong Yufeng's strength has recovered, how many strong people will appear in these 20 years? To be honest, I don't think much of the Xian'an sect, the man called Brother Zhou said. Brother Zhou, you are just talking in front of us. I will pretend that I didn't hear it, but if Mu Fengyan hears it, it will probably be a disaster for your Huxiao fort, the man in white said in a deep voice. The one called Brother Zhou is Zhou Yehu, the master of Huxiao fort. As for the man in white, he is Bai Tianyu, the master of Xiangsu Valley, one of the three veins conquered by the Xian'an sect, and Ruan Huangai of Xianmang sect. They are the leaders of the three affiliated forces of the Xian'an sect. I'm just telling you two that we've been fighting the ghost domain for so long, and our three sects have lost too many people. If we continue to lose like this, we're afraid that we'll have very few left. In addition, the Xian'an sect hasn't provided enough resources, and the strength of the personnel is improving very slowly, Zhou Yehu said in a deep voice. Did Hong Yufeng bring people down the mountain tomorrow? If they take action, I think they will take down the ghost domain, and they should go directly to the ghost domain and kill the high-level people in the ghost domain, the red-clothed woman Ruan Huangai said. That's true, but who are the high-level people in the ghost domain? They are from Xian'ai Pavilion. Gu Santong's strength is not weaker than Hong Yufeng. It's not certain who will win or lose. What's more, after so long, the masters of Xian'ai Pavilion may have arrived, Zhou Yehu said. Brother Zhou, just say whatever you think, don't let us guess riddles. Bai Tianyu in white looked at Zhou Yehu and said. With so much foreshadowing, there must be something going on. Brother Bai, to be honest, I want to rebel against the Xian'an sect and no longer be their affiliated force, Zhou Yehu said. Hearing Zhou Yehu's words, Bai Tianyu and Ruan Huangai, who were opposite him, were stunned, with astonishment in their eyes. They did not expect Zhou Yehu to rebel against the Xian'an sect. Brother Zhou, people from the Ghost Realm contacted you, and you wanted to join the Ghost Realm, but joining the Ghost Realm is no different from being affiliated with the Xian'an sect. Bai Tianyu looked at Zhou Yehu and said. Ruan Huangai, who was standing aside, also stared at Zhou Yehu, trying to get an answer from him. People from the Ghost Realm did not contact me, but other forces did. I think Sister Huangai, you should know which force contacted me. Otherwise, you would not ask too much about the internal affairs of the Xian'an sect. Zhou Yehu turned his eyes to Ruan Huangai. It seems that the Cold Moon sect has also contacted you. Ruan Huangai did not deny it, and said in a deep voice. Back then, the three major forces were defeated by Hong Yufeng and became dependent on the Xian'an sect, but now 20 years have passed. 20 years is not a matter of a snap. There were ups and downs in the middle, especially during the period of mountain closure, and many people's mentality changed again. When the Hen'ai sect secretly contacted them, they turned to the Hen'ai sect, and the Hen'ai sect promised them that as long as the Hen'ai sect occupied the Xian'an sect, the Xianmang sect could go out independently. While speaking, Ruan Huangai looked at Bai Tianyu, and Zhou Yehu looked at him in the same way. Bai Tianyu looked at the two people's eyes, his body became alert, and he immediately said, when the valley was closed, I opened the closed valley formation to prohibit anyone from breaking into my Xiangsu Valley, so the Hen'ai sect did not appear in my Xiangsu Valley, and I did not meet with the Hen'ai sect. What do you think now, Brother Bai? By cooperating with the Hen'ai sect, we can make our respective forces independent and restore our former glory, Zhou Yehu said. I don't have any idea for now. Bai Tianyu shook his head. Actually, he didn't tell the two people. Although he didn't contact the Hen'ai sect, he recently contacted people from the ghost domain. He still met Du Guwudi in person, and was successfully moved by Du Guwudi, and joined the ghost domain with Xiangsu Valley. It seems that Brother Bai still wants to wait, but sometimes waiting will lose opportunities, and then you will become a discarded child. Besides, Huomu Peak will arrive tomorrow, and the war is about to break out. I think Brother Bai should make a choice as soon as possible. Zhou Yehu looked at Bai Tianyu and said. I will think about this matter carefully, and I will reply to you two after thinking it over. I will not spread your affairs randomly. You can rest assured. I will stop here today and leave first." After speaking, Bai Tianyu stood up, bowed slightly to the two people, and left. The matter has been known, so there is no need to stay any longer. Ruan Honggai and Zhou Yihu did not stop Bai Tianyu, and let him leave just like that. "You trust him so much?" Ruan Honggai looked at Zhou Yihu and said. "It's not that I believe him, but he doesn't dare to say it. Xiantian sect has 3 affiliated forces. If 2 of them disappear and only his family is left, do you think Xiangsu Valley wants to exist? Or will it be incorporated into Xiantian sect and be unpopular? He still needs us to maintain balance. Moreover, if Xiantian sect is in trouble, it will be a good thing for him. He can take Xiangsu Valley out independently. He is a smart man and will not cut off his own retreat." Zhou Yihu looked at the figure disappearing at the gate of the small courtyard and said, "Zihanayu of Hanayu sect has arrived here. Let's go to see her together," Zhou Yihu said afterwards. "Zihanayu came here at this time. Isn't she afraid of death? Mu Fengyan alone can kill her." Ruan Honggai said with a surprised look on her face when she heard Zhou Yihu's words. "She didn't come alone. The masters of the Hanayu sect have already arrived. Originally, they thought that they could quietly take down the Xiantian sect by cooperating with the Hanayu sect, but Mu Feng was more skilled and had already discovered the people of the Hanayu sect, but he didn't move until now, catching her off guard. However, the appearance of the ghost domain gave her a chance to fight. Zihanayu told me that the people of the ghost domain spent a lot of money to invite people from the Qinglong Society to take action. If the people of the Qinglong Society take action, then the Xiantian sect and the ghost domain may both suffer losses. At that time, the Hanayu sect will show up and take down the Xiantian sect," Zhou Yihu said. "Okay, then I'll go with you to meet this Zihanayu," Ruan Honggai said. "I have a secret passage here. Let's go quickly and come back quickly." Zhou Yihu took Ruan Honggai into a room and left through the secret passage. Chapter 417 Fishing, Scheming. Mu Fengyan will die tonight. After leaving the courtyard, Bai Tianyu returned to his residence without stopping. When he pushed the door, he was startled. In the courtyard, a figure was standing in the middle of the courtyard, as if waiting for him. "Mr. Guan Qi, why are you here?" Bai Tianyu closed the door, walked towards the figure, and invited a person to enter the house. From the name, it can be seen that the person standing is Guan Qi. Bai Tianyu has been successfully persuaded by Dugu Wudi to join the Ghost Realm, and Guan Qi came this time mainly to know from Bai Tianyu the plan of Xiantian sect for Ghost Realm. There was only an oil lamp, a bed, and 2 chairs in the house, which looked very simple. Xiantian Pavilion has made a deal with Qinglong Society, and they will send people to help Ghost Realm deal with Xiantian sect. I came here this time to know some information about Xiantian sect. Guan Qi entered the house and spoke without sitting down. After hearing the news, Bai Tianyu pondered for a moment and said, "I don't know the internal situation of Xiantian sect, but Mu Fengyan just said that Mu Feng will bring people down the mountain tomorrow and meet here. As for the specific reason, I don't know, but according to my guess, it should be to deal with Ghost Domain. Please prepare for it, Master Dugu." Bai Tianyu did not hide anything and told everything he knew. Mu Feng went down the mountain, which is really good news. "Then I'm afraid he really can't go up the mountain this time," Guan Qi said. "And I just came back from Zhou Yihu and Ruan Honggai. They have already joined Hanayu sect." Bai Tianyu told Guan Qi what happened with Zhou Yihu just now. "It's normal for Hanayu sect to come here to make arrangements knowing about Qinglong Society, but this Hanayu sect has been making arrangements in Xiantian sect for so long, with so many people. I'm afraid it's not just for the purpose of stationing and establishing a sect. I'm afraid there is something they want in Xiantian sect, but I don't know what it is," Guan Qi said in a deep voice. "I'm afraid this is a secret, even Zihanayu may not know it," Bai Tianyu said. "It doesn't matter what the secret is. When we take down the Xiantian sect, the secret will be discovered." Guan Qi didn't dwell on this matter. "I came here to tell you that if the Qinglong Society attack Mu Fengyan tonight, Mu Fengyan would die. You stay in your courtyard and don't go out. If you go out and get killed by mistake, it will be your bad luck." Guan Qi turned around and left, and his figure quickly disappeared from Bai Xiangxiao's sight. Will Mu Fengyan die tonight? Bai Xiangxiao's heart was throbbing as he watched Guan Qi leave. Is the ghost domain going to take the initiative, kill Mu Fengyan, and lure Hou Mufang here so that they can ambush Hou Mufang here? If that's the case, once Hou Mufang of the Xiantian sect dies, I'm afraid the entire frontier will be in turmoil. I just don't know how long the turmoil will last. With the Hanyu sect eyeing them covetously in front, the Xianaya pavilion behind them, and the Kunlun sect that people have never forgotten, the frontier will probably fall into chaos for more than 20 years. Bai Xiangxiao sighed and said nothing more. His strength seemed very small in this confrontation of forces. At this time, in a study room behind the palace, Mu Fengyan was standing by the window, and behind him a man in black was standing. Ruan Honggai and Zhou Yihu are still together. Bai Xiangxiao has left and returned to his own courtyard. As for what they talked about, I didn't dare to sneak into the courtyard, so I don't know, the man in black replied. Is there something wrong with Ruan Honggai and Zhou Yihu? Mu Fengyan murmured, then waved his hand to let him leave. The man in black bowed and left the room. Since you know the headmaster is coming, you should have made some moves tonight, right? I really want to see what you will do. If I hadn't found someone to replace you, I would rather kill you by mistake than let you go. Mu Fengyan sneered. Many people have been infiltrated in the Xiantian sect, so the three affiliated forces should have been infiltrated as well. He told the three people today that Hou Mufang would arrive tomorrow just to see how the three would react. He was fishing. Who would take the bait? At this moment, not far from the palace, in a low two-story pavilion, Zihanai was sitting, playing with a glass-carved teacup in his hand. Behind him, two old men were standing respectfully. Is there any news from the Qinglong Society? Zihanai asked. According to the time Yuan Suin told us, the people from the Qinglong Society should have arrived in the ghost domain, Elder Yin in the gray robe said. That means we can send Mu Fengyan off. As long as Mu Fengyan dies, the battle between Xiantian sect and ghost domain will become fierce. At this time, if Mu Fengyan dies, it must be ghost domain who did it. Do we need to disclose the involvement of Qinglong Club? Another elder said. We should not offend Qinglong Club, so as not to damage the existing relationship. Zihanai shook her head. According to reason, spreading the news of Qinglong Club's involvement can maximize the benefits for Hanyu sect. But Yuan Suin told her the news, so she spread it. I'm afraid Su Chen will have a problem with her. If she wants to cooperate with Qinglong Club in the future, there may be problems, which is not worth a loss. Saintis, Zhou Yihu and Ruan Honggai are here. At this time, the gray-robed old man said with a change of expression. Under the pavilion, two figures appeared, wearing cloaks covering both sides. When going upstairs, the two took off their outer clothes. They were Ruan Honggai and Zhou Yihu. Please take a seat, both of you. Zihanai stood up and greeted them. Saintis, we just got the news that Hou Mufang will come here tomorrow. I'm afraid he will take action against the ghost domain. Our chance has come, Zhou Yihu said. Hou Mufang is going down the mountain. It seems that he is really going to take action. If they take action, the ghost domain will also take action. They really think alike. This is a good thing for us, Zihanai said with a smile. Have the people from the Green Dragon Society arrived outside the Great Wall? Zhou Yihu asked with some doubts. They should have arrived, but we don't know their detailed plan here, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is that Mu Fengyan will die today, Zihanai said coldly. Hearing Zihanai's words, Zhou Yihu understood what she meant. It was late at night. The weather was cold and there was no wind. A crescent moon hung in the sky, illuminating the night like day. Three figures appeared outside the palace. Excuse me, two elders. Please leave immediately after dealing with Mu Fengyan, Zihanai said. Looking at the palace in front of him. Understood, two figures were like ghosts, heading towards the palace, very fast, and the place was very clear, which was the courtyard where Mu Fengyan was resting. As the two figures moved forward, Ruan Honggai, Zhou Yihu, and Bai Xiangxiao, all three of them were awake. They were waiting for news. Chapter 418, Confrontation, Fierce Battle, Who is the winner? Behind the palace. In the courtyard, Mu Fengyan, who was sleeping in his clothes, opened his eyes. He was waiting, but he didn't expect that he would really wait. In the dark room, a figure walked out. Mountain Master, There are two people coming. They are very powerful and maybe in Shinran Jiunan, the figure said in a deep voice. Shinran Jiunan, are they from Hanyu sect? Let's collect some interest from them tonight. A cold murderous intent appeared on Mu Fengai's face. From the news from Xiantian sect, it was already known that it was Hanyu sect that planned their Xiantian sect. Let's go, let's meet these two people. I really want to see who they are from Hanyu sect. After speaking, Mu Fenggai stood up, pushed open the door, and came to the courtyard. At this time, two figures fell and bumped into Mu Fenggai who pushed open the door. The two figures who appeared saw Mu Fenggai coming out, their eyes condensed, and their expressions changed. Second envoy Yin and Mu, I didn't expect it to be you. Hanyu sect really thinks highly of me. Mu Fenggai looked at the two and said. It seems that Master Mu Shen knew someone was coming and waited for us here, the gray-robed elder Yin said. You think Zhou Yihu and the others can hide from my eyes? You really think too highly of them. I was originally thinking about what fish I could catch. It's really great to catch two big fish like you. Taking you down can also be regarded as collecting some interest for our Xiantian sect, Mu Fenggai said coldly. Huh? Just as he was speaking, a sharp sound of breaking through the air appeared behind the two of them in an instant, and a shadow-like figure shot directly from the dark towards the gray-robed old man who spoke. Be careful. Next to the gray-robed old man, another old man's eyes condensed, ready to take action to get rid of the black shadow. But behind him, a cold light also appeared and pierced at the same speed. Humph! You want to deal with us with this? Both of them are masters. Although they were surprised to see Mu Fenggai, their own vigilance did not disappear. The gray-robed old man raised his hand like a spirit snake, grabbing the arm of the man who stabbed him. The other man, with his fist full of ki, punched out and faced the long sword head-on. But when they attacked, behind Mu Fenggai, a figure suddenly shot out, and his figure was like a hawk catching a rabbit, grabbing the opponent's head. The momentum was fierce and sharp. Compared with the two people who attacked before, this one was the most deadly. If he didn't resist, his head might be torn. He moved his body and avoided the opponent's grab, but because of dodging this claw, the sword that just attacked him cut his chest. A blood mark appeared. But after this blood mark appeared, it was black blood, not red blood. The sword is poisonous? The gray-robed old man's face changed, and his palm immediately grabbed the wound, and a scorching ki was directly imprinted on the wound. Swish! The scorching ki burned the wound directly, preventing the poison from flowing. However, the huge pain made the gray-robed old man's face become ferocious. A stream of energy came out of his palm, and he grabbed the black shadow that drew the sword. A suction force caught the person who made the move, and then he raised his palm, and his 5 fingers were like steel claws, directly inserted into the other person's head, and then threw it aside. Then he stared at the person who made the move from Mu Fenggai with vigilance. The person who attacked was average, but this person gave him a very dangerous feeling. At this time, the sound of fighting here also attracted attention. Zihanyu, who followed, flashed and came to a rooftop, looking at the situation in the small courtyard. Seeing the situation in the small courtyard, Zihanyu's face condensed. She didn't expect it to be like this. Her eyes turned, wondering whether to seek support. The people she brought were not just the two people beside her. But it was obviously a plan set by Mu Fenggai, and there might be other arrangements. So she had to be cautious. She couldn't want to be the fisherman, and in the end, she and the Xiantian sect became a snipe and clam, and let the ghost domain take advantage of the fisherman. At this time, another old man from the Cold Moon sect punched the man who had made the move and knocked him back. The man spat out a mouthful of blood and turned away. Mu Tong, let me meet you. Mu Fenggai stepped out at this time and went towards another person from the Cold Moon sect. Seeing this, Mu Tong's eyes condensed, and he raised his palm. A black energy appeared in his palm, and there was a faint corrosive force on the energy. His figure shot out violently, and with a sharp wind in his palm, he went towards Mu Fenggai's throat. Boom! A violent icy air appeared on Mu Fenggai's body, and the cold air in his palm was like a tide, and he slapped it out with one palm. The terrifying cold air collided with a black palm, and the two forces collided, and Mu Tong's figure was faintly knocked back a step. From the first fight, it can be seen that Mu Tong's strength is weaker than Mu Fenggai's. Swish! After the exchange of blows, Mu Fenggai twisted his body and appeared behind Mu Tong. The cold air in his hand surged, and the cold air burst out with a sound of dragon roars, and fiercely bombarded Mu Tong's back. Mu Tong's ki flowed around his body, and he collided with the opponent's attack with his backhand. Boom! 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 The attacks of the two people collided head-on. For a time, cold and black air filled the air, and the violent ki flew around, contacting the surrounding air, making a sharp whistle. During these collisions, Mu Tong's figure retreated step by step. It can be seen that in this hard collision state, Mu Fengyan obviously has the upper hand. In the confrontation between the two, the battle between the man in black and Elder Yin was more thrilling. Elder Yin was injured in the chest. Although he used his flame ki to burn the wound and prevented the spread of the poison, the man in black attacked, but his moves were fatal and went to the opponent's chest. So Elder Yin was at a disadvantage for a while. This won't work, Zihanyu thought to herself as she saw this situation. Suddenly, she saw Ruan Huanggai and Zhou Yihu watching the battle on the side. Zhou Yihu and Ruan Huanggai had rushed over when they were fighting here. They wanted to see the result of the battle the most. Your identities have been exposed. Only by killing Mu Fengyan can you delay for a while, Zihanyu sent a voice message to the two. Ruan Huanggai and Zhou Yihu, who came over, looked at each other after hearing this. They shot out at the same time and headed towards the man in black. Kill the man in black first, and then the four of them will surround and kill Mu Fengyan. Li Longxiao. Who do you think will win on their side? Li Chenshao and Guanqi were standing on a dark roof. Mu Fengyan's side will win, but it's not clear how many people can stay, Li Chenshao said calmly. The person who came to kill Mu Fengyan this time was Li Chenshao, who appeared as the third dragon leader of the Qinglong Society. He originally wanted to kill Mu Fengyan, but someone was one step faster than him. So he waited to watch the show and then took action. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419, Heavenly Tiger Transformation, Xianchen Sect, The Monkey Returns at Dusk. When Zhou Yihu and Ruan Huanggai attacked, suddenly, a low roar of apes appeared in the dark of the courtyard. With the sound of the apes, ripples appeared in the surrounding air. An extremely dangerous aura permeated the air. The two people who attacked paused slightly in the air. They clearly sensed that the danger was coming towards them. In the dark, Zihanyu's face changed drastically when she sensed this situation. Her eyes were fixed on the place where the air fluctuation appeared. Along with the fluctuation, a chill appeared like a tide. The two people who paused only felt that this chill penetrated their hearts. They immediately used their internal ki to resist. But suddenly a thick palm penetrated the chill and slapped Zhou Yihu's head. This palm was as wide as a monkey's palm. Seeing this palm, Zhou Yihu's face changed drastically, and he roared Tiger Roaring Fist. A tiger roar appeared in his body, and then he punched out. The ki on the fist turned into Tiger Shadow and slammed towards the fist. Bang! But his punch was directly dispersed by the palm, and finally landed on Zhou Yihu. Zhou Yihu was hit by the palm and flew backwards, spurting blood from his mouth, looking at the place where the palm was hit with horror. He completely forgot the pain in his chest. Zhou Yihu had practiced hard for 20 years to reach the 9th level of heaven and man, but he was defeated by a palm. And the other party had not yet shown his face. This made him very unwilling. In his sight, a sturdy figure fell to the ground. You didn't die after taking my palm? Just now I saw that you practiced the Heavenly Tiger Heart Sutra of Tiger Roar Fort to the Great Success Realm, and condensed a trace of Tiger Spirit. If you're given enough time, you should be able to use this state of mind to turn your Danshan internal energy into the sea. Unfortunately, you don't have that time, the visitor sighed and looked at Zhou Yihu. As for Ruan Huanggai next to him, the person who made the move didn't care. Back then, your senior sister gave herself to the Lord of the North Mountain of our Xianchen sect, in exchange for the survival of your Xianmang sect. Instead of maintaining your status, you dare to collude with outsiders. I will kill you and take your head to the Xianmang sect to slaughter your entire Xianmang sect. The voice was cold and carried a fierce killing intent. There was no affirmation of Zhou Yihu in the tone, but a coldness. Humph, Jin Boai forced my senior sister back then, and I still remember this hatred. Today, she betrayed your Xianchen sect. If you have the guts, Kill her, Ruan Honggai said sternly. Who are you? At this time, Zhou Yihu stood up and looked at the other party. He is Yuan Muge, one of the 3 great elders of Xiantian sect. At this time, Zihanai walked out of the dark. There was no need to hide now. She was in the direction where Ruan Honggai and Zhou Yihu had just moved out, so she simply showed up. The saint of the Hanyu sect, Zihanai, I didn't expect that the Hanyu sect would look down on our Xiantian sect, so much that they actually sent you, a young girl, to deal with our Xiantian sect. Today, I will take off your head and teach the Hanyu sect a profound lesson, the visitor Yuan Muge said coldly. As he spoke, a trace of ferocity appeared at the corner of his mouth. He kicked the ground with his feet and his body turned into a black light. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Ruan Honggai. His palm was like a monkey blasting a mountain, and he slammed it down directly. Ruan Honggai's face changed drastically, and he resisted with both hands, but under the violent fist force, his arms were directly shattered, blood mist filled the air, revealing white bones, and the whole person flew backwards, spurting out a mouthful of blood. With one blow, Ruan Honggai was severely injured and had no chance to attack. Fierce and brutal, decisive and ruthless, not giving the other party a chance to attack. This is to solve their help to help Mu Tong attack Mu Fengyan. Interesting, this person seems arrogant, but he is very decisive in his attack. The Xiantian sect is more difficult to deal with than we thought, Li Chen's house said in the dark. If I fight with my strength, I will probably be severely injured by the opponent in one move. The opponent just mentioned that the Qijin has turned into the sea. Does the 3 dragons know whether the opponent has turned into the sea? Guanqi said in a deep voice. His strength has not yet reached the 9 difficulties of heaven and man, and he is not clear about the so-called Danshan Qijin turning into the sea, so he asked Li Chen's how. It has turned into the sea, but the range is average. It can't survive more than 30 moves under my fist, Li Chen's how said in a deep voice. Can't survive more than 30 moves? Guanqi was stunned and secretly marveled at Li Chen's how's strength. To be honest, Guanqi and Xiao Keishu's strength in the book review is better than Li Chen's how, but there is no way to arrange the strength in the lottery. But Guanqi's training speed is already very fast. In a short period of time, he will attack the 9 difficulties of heaven and man. Normally, the 9 difficulties of heaven and man will not necessarily win against Guanqi. Moreover, Guanqi has the golden plum bottle given by Su Chen, so as long as he is not dead, he can fight. Now it is the invincible strong man. Even if the strong man of Huahe realm wanted to kill Guanqi in one blow, he couldn't do it. Yuan Muge, who had severely injured Ruan Honggai with one blow, looked at Zihanai. I thought the people around you would take action? Unexpectedly, no. If they really didn't take action, then they would have to kill Zhou Yihu. Ruan Honggai was alive because of Jin Duai's existence. But Zhou Yihu didn't. At this moment, Zhou Yihu, who was panting, had a drastic change in his expression and looked at Zihanai, but Zihanai didn't move. It's not that she didn't move, as long as it was because of the strong man next to her, she really couldn't command. It's so sad, being abandoned like garbage. Yuan Muge looked at Zhou Yihu's face with a regretful expression, and there was also a hint of sarcasm in his expression. If you want to kill me, even if I die, you have to drag someone down with me. Zhou Yihu raised his head, and a dark red breath appeared in his eyes, and then a dark red flame appeared on his body. Boom! Boom! This flaming energy rushed out to repair his wounds, and the whole person gave off a fierce aura. He kicked the ground with his footsteps, and the whole person pounced on Yuan Muge like a tiger. Heavenly Tiger Transformation. When the Heavenly Tiger Heart Sutra is cultivated to perfection, a natural ability is derived, but it seems to consume its own vitality. I don't know how long your body can last, Yuan Muge said in a cold voice. While speaking, his aura burst out, and a layer of white ice mist appeared, and his body began to swell in the ice mist. With his previously burly figure, he was like a snow mountain monkey. In the face of absolute strength, your transformation is useless. Boom! Yuan Muge looked at Zhou Yihu, who was rushing over, raised his palm, and slapped it out. The powerful palm force, like a small mountain, collided with the opponent's tiger claws. Zhou Yihu is repelled. At the moment of repulsion, Yuan Muge rushed out, and at the same time, his palm clenched into a fist, and the fist danced down like a heavy hammer. The speed was extremely fast, and a punch was thrown. Boom! Under the force of this punch, the Qian Zhou Yihu's arm was constantly shattered, and blood kept spurting out of his mouth. He was no match for the opponent at all. I didn't expect that Zhou Yehu, would die like this. Seeing another punch fall, he felt sad. Chapter 420, Sky High Fist, 30 Moves to Kill. Boom. At this moment, a fist force that surged into the sky appeared behind Yuan Muge. The Yuan Muge who had made the move changed his expression and threw a backhand punch. Zhou Yehu instinctively used up his last bit of strength, rolled over, and fled to the side. At this time, Yuan Muge's figure was shaken back several steps by the force of the punch, and his eyes were fiercely looking at the figure that fell not far away. This figure that appeared was not a burly figure, but standing there made people have to pay attention to him, because he exuded a kind of momentum invisibly. This momentum gave people a feeling that it was the most fierce and evil momentum in the world. However, there was also a sense of sadness in this momentum, a kind of sadness that made people miss. Li Chenzhao was born, and he missed his wife more. In his previous life, he integrated his power into his fist. This time, he not only integrated his own power into his fist, but also integrated a kind of sadness and longing into his fist. It can be said that it was completely different from when he appeared in Qinglong Temple. At that time, he had just been born, and he was still in the stage of groping for integration. Now, after the passage of time, he has gone a step further. Once he perfectly integrates emotion and momentum, he believes that he should be able to condense a spirit on the Danshan of Huhei. As for why he took action now, it was because Li Chenzhao was very optimistic about Zhou Yehu. Although the Qinglong Society is a killer organization, but this world is big, and as Li Chenzhao can still conquer some people for his own Zhou Yehu, he is very satisfied with this person, and he is suitable to be his subordinate. As for ambition, a strong person must have ambition. A strong person without ambition is not called a strong person. Only with ambition can one work hard to become strong. Li Chenzhao, the third dragon leader of the Qinglong Society, seeing Li Chenzhao appear, Zihanayu said in surprise. She didn't expect Li Chenzhao to be here. She looked around, wanting to see if Su Chen appeared, or other Qinglong Society members. I didn't expect Miss Zihanayu to think of the same thing as our Qinglong Society, to kill Mu Fengyan first. Li Chenzhao looked at Zihanayu calmly and said. Zihanayu blushed slightly when she heard what Li Chenzhao said, as if she was seen through, but she adjusted herself quickly. I believe that Li Longshao also knows that our Hanayu sect is also interested in the Xianchen sect, so it is normal for us to take action. Of course, she couldn't say that they took action to frame the Qinglong Society, hoping that the Xianchen sect and the Ghost Domain would both suffer losses. At this moment, on the other side, Mu Fengyan and others also paused in their fight, but both sides looked at each other warily. Qinglong Society, we, Xianchen sect, don't seem to have any grudges with you. Qinglong Society, Yuan Muge looked at Li Chenzhao and said. Li Chenzhao made him feel a sense of oppression, and this feeling was still very strong. He felt that he was not this person's opponent. Although from the aura, the two are now about the same strength. My Qinglong Society was commissioned to come and kill people, so there is no such thing as grudges or not. We just take money and goods to do things. Li Chenzhao looked at the other party in a very calm voice. Hearing the other party's words, Yuan Muge's face turned cold, and he recalled the information of the Qinglong Society in his heart. A killer organization. There is no point in talking about such a force. Now he can only fight. I will hold them back, and you take the opportunity to leave. Yuan Muge sent a message to Mu Fengyan and the man in black. Then he said to Li Chenzhao in a cold voice, it depends on whether you have the ability. At the moment of speaking, he stretched out his palm, and a bright cold air burst out from his hand, whistling towards Li Chenzhao with a strong icy air. The strong cold air came into contact with the air, and layers of frost appeared in the air. In addition, he was burly, his eyes turned scarlet, and vaguely, a trace of wild beast madness could be seen. Boom. Both palms clenched into fists. Frost Demon Ape Fist. Yuan Muge let out a monkey-like roar from his throat, and his body turned into a ray of light, rushing towards Li Chenzhao. Both fists were thrown out, and the fists were like huge iron hammers, carrying terrible coldness, attacking Li Chenzhao. The fists not only carried power but also coldness, colliding with the surrounding air. A layer of frost appeared in the air, and then it was shattered by the huge force. Looking at this punch, Li Chenzhao's face was slightly condensed, and a fierce look appeared in his eyes. His fists were not only domineering but also fierce, and his reputation for violent plunder was not inferior to anyone. The 36 Wonders of the Overturning Heaven, skill in his body was running out. 36 Wonders of the Overturning Heaven, skill is one of the 4 unique skills in Wenshu. In Wenshu, it is an internal family mental method that is completely different from ancient and modern times. Qi is the spirit, intention is the body, and form is the use. Suddenly, the thick scorching sun true Qi burst out from his body. The fist was full of violent scorching sun energy. Raising his hand and punching out, the fist collided with the opponent's huge frost fist energy. The icy energy did not last long and collapsed directly, but Yuan Muge's fist still collided with Li Chenhao's fist. This time, Yuan Muge not only had icy energy, but also violent power. What does ape represent? In fact, he represents power. Bang! However, his power was constantly disintegrated under the fist of Li Chenhao, and finally his body was shaken and continued to retreat several steps. After a successful attack, Li Chenhao did not hesitate and flew into the air. 36 Wonders of the Sky, the power was like thunder, the momentum was like thunderbolt, and the simple broke the complex. The fist shadow attacked the opponent like a mountain. There was no chance for Yuan Muge to react. Suddenly, the fist shadows in the sky whistled down, and the people watching the battle were filled with horror. Li Chenhao's fist power was too violent and fierce. Li Chenhao, who was not a burly man, had a stronger fist power than Yuan Muge. The suppressed Yuan Muge roared and roared, trying to reverse the situation. But the opponent's moves were strong and fierce, and he didn't give him a chance to breathe. Under the power of these punches, his Qi and blood were surging all over his body, and his whole body seemed to be out of control. The last 9 punches, after a reversal of the attack, Li Chenhao, who was in the air, shouted in a low voice. Yuan Muge, who thought he had a breath, was stunned when he heard this voice. But then he understood something and his face showed anger. Because Li Chenhao's fist was in full swing. He used 9 to have endless strange, right and wrong. This move of 9 strikes, one faster than the other, concealed 9 layers of hardness and softness, strange and right interlaced, like mercury pouring on the ground and penetrating every hole. Even with the ultimate body protection magic, he was exhausted and could not resist. It seemed that he sensed the danger. Yuan Muge roared, and a strong blood shield appeared around his body, and the Qi in his body burst out like a tide. Although the Qi in his body was consumed before, he had already reached the Qi in his danchan and turned it into a sea. Under the circulation, the Qi recovered quickly. Boom! Li Chenhao's fist fell and collided with Yuan Muge's fist. There was a bang. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. Li Chenhao's punches kept increasing. With a 4th punch, Li Chenhao's fist shattered the Qi on the opponent's fist. With a 5th punch, the opponent's arm was shattered, and the arm turned into blood mist. Yuan Muge screamed and roared. The 6th punch hit the blood and Qi shield around the opponent's body, and cracks appeared on the opponent's blood and Qi shield. The 7th punch shattered Yuan Muge's blood and Qi defense. With the 8th punch, the internal energy hit the opponent's internal organs and shattered them. With the 9th punch, the opponent's heart was shattered. After 9 punches, Yuan Muge fell to the ground, looking at Li Chenhao unwillingly. Chapter 421, Crazy Guanqi, Blood Lord Threat, Yin Yang Gu. Seeing this, Mu Fengyan and the man in black changed their expressions. They turned around and wanted to escape, but since Li Chenhao had made a move, there was no chance for him to escape. As soon as he stepped on the ground, he shot out at such a fast speed that he was in front of Mu Fengyan in the blink of an eye. As for the man in black, a violent figure appeared in front of him. It was Guanqi. The 2 people who had made a move from the Hanyu sect did not make another move. They protected Hanyu and were about to evacuate. So Guanqi made a move. Only by constantly fighting could his strength be improved. He had to improve his strength in the battle. Bang! When Guanqi blocked the man in black, Mu Fengyan made a move, but when his palm power collided with Li Chenhao, he was knocked back. A mouthful of blood spurted out of his mouth, and his body fell to the ground in a very embarrassed manner. Although his aura was weak, his eyes were fierce. He slowly got up, and a strong bloody energy burst out from his body. This bloody energy was as sticky as bright red blood. Li Chenhao, are you, Qinglong Society, going to fight to the death with us, Xianchen sect? The voice was low and hoarse, and he tried his best. Even the Supreme Elder Yuan Muge was not the opponent of the other party. He would not be Li Chenhao's opponent before the sea transformation was completed. But he had to do everything he could to keep himself alive. Only by living can he take revenge and wash away the shame of today. Why are you still threatening me with Xiantian sect at this time? Then you will be disappointed. Qinglong Society has already taken action and has no intention of stopping. If you have this ability, I am very disappointed. The master of Nanshan of Xiantian sect should have more than just this strength. Li Chenhao looked at Mu Fengyan and said. Blood-piercing key. Mu Fengyan shouted in a low voice, raised his 2 fingers, and tapped several acupoints around his body. The blood energy that had previously permeated his body became even more concentrated. After the blood energy burst out, it formed a thick layer of blood armor on his body. The blood energy in the acupoints that he had touched circulated, and a strong airflow appeared, heading towards the danshan in his body. Under the impact of this energy, the originally peaceful danshan began to rotate, and the speed became faster and faster. Of course, more and more blood energy was consumed outside, and Mu Fengyan's face turned pale. A bottle of pills appeared in his hand and he swallowed it directly. The blood energy continued to stimulate the energy in the danshan. He's going to impact the danshan transformation sea, but this consumes his own body's essence in blood. After stepping into the danshan transformation sea, his strength is probably just average. Zihanyu, who was originally planning to leave, stopped immediately after seeing this situation. I didn't expect Mu Fengyan to use such a ruthless technique, using his own blood as a price to increase the blood and ki strength in a short period of time to stimulate the ki in the body, but after using this technique, the sequelae are extremely serious. Even a simple performance requires more than half a year to recover. It may be difficult for him to recover after such consumption. After entering the sea of transformation, he can only be a sickly sea of transformation warrior. At this time, a low voice sounded in their ears. Then a figure appeared in front of the 3. Meet the blood venerable. Zihanyu and the other 2 bowed to the person who appeared. The person just nodded slightly, and his eyes looked at Li Chenhao and the others. Of course, he was not paying attention to Mu Fengyan, but Li Chenhao. Originally, he didn't plan to show up. Zhou Yehu was no longer useful, and it was time to abandon him, but Li Chenhao took action. Li Chenhao's strength was completely beyond his expectations. The domineering fist. And there was a feeling in the fist. This is a person who uses emotions, and has vaguely formed a divine power. It is a person who is about to step into the sea to concentrate Qinglong Hu 3 dragon heads, worthy of his appearance and contact. Li Chenhao's eyes did not look in this direction. Although he sensed that someone had appeared, he still respected his opponent. Since you have burst out with all your strength, then I will kill you with one punch with all my strength, Li Chenhao said. He raised his palm and clenched it suddenly. He was a person who liked to use fists, and he also liked to use fists to get rid of opponents. He kicked the ground with his footsteps, and the whole person rushed out violently. With violent energy in his fist, he smashed down like a hurricane. Mu Fengyan, who was powered by his own blood, roared. Blood shadow returns to dragon, he roared, and the energy in his danshan turned into a red blood light, surrounding his fist, forming a blood-colored dragon shadow. The sound of dragon roars roared out. A punch was thrown. Bang! The fists of the 2 collided with each other, and a very low sound spread. The blood-colored dragon shadow on Mu Fengyan's fist shattered, and a fist force entered his arm and rushed into his body, and then the clothes on his body burst at this moment. His body was covered with cracks. Bang! These cracks shattered, and blood spurted out. You will die, the master will avenge us. Mu Fengyan looked at Li Chenhao, saying this, and then fell directly to the ground. On the other side, Guan Qi's fight with the opponent seemed to be a bit of a melee. Guan Qi's invisible sword energy was not stingy at all, as if his sword energy was endless. The black-clothed man was higher in realm than Guan Qi, and his strength was actually higher than Guan Qi, but he was stunned by Guan Qi's fierceness. He missed a move, and then was suppressed by Guan Qi's huge innate invisible sword energy. Originally, he wanted to wait for Guan Qi to exhaust the sword energy in his body before he could do it himself. But because Guan Qi had the help of the golden plum bottle, his internal ki was even stronger than his, causing him to find that his internal ki was consumed. And Guan Qi's attack was still continuing. Suddenly, the news about Guan Qi came to his mind. The lost golden plum bottle of Qinglong Temple was on Guan Qi. Guan Qi was using the golden plum bottle to restore his own strength. "How dare you use the golden plum bottle endlessly," he growled. But after hearing his words, Guan Qi did not stop attacking. Instead, a scarlet aura appeared around him, and a red light radiated from his eyes. The whole person gave people a feeling of being possessed by a demon. The magic source on the golden plum bottle had long been absorbed by Chen. Guan Qi can use the golden plum bottle endlessly, but this matter cannot be known to outsiders. So he recently practiced a kind of magic skill, making himself appear to be possessed by a demon to paralyze others. Looking at Guan Qi's possessed state, the man in black cursed secretly, "I haven't finished speaking, you are possessed by a demon, isn't this a trap for me?" He tried his best to resist, but his chest was still pierced by an invisible sword energy. Then Guan Qi's invisible sword energy concentrated, not giving him a chance to repair the wound, and gathered towards this side with all his strength. Seeing this, he mobilized the power in his body and retreated quickly. However, Guan Qi's speed was faster, and he raised his palm, and the invisible sword energy gathered in his palm. He slapped it out. It was printed on the opponent's chest at an extremely fast speed. Swish! Swish! The invisible sword energy violently entered the opponent's body and penetrated the opponent's body. The man in black wanted to say something, but Guan Qi's other palm fell from the air. Bang! The palm fell on the head, and the invisible sword energy poured into the head, and the death was cruel and ugly. The air was silent, and no one came. In order to reduce casualties, Feng gave an order to retreat many guards during the fight, so the guards didn't know what was going on here, or they didn't dare to come at this time. The shocking energy fluctuations were not something they could bear at all. Coming here would only make them innocent dead souls. Chen didn't look at Feng on the ground, but came to Zihanyu with Guan Qi. In front of him was the Blood Venerable. At this time, the Blood Venerable stepped forward, bypassed Chen and looked at Guan Qi. Golden Wind and Rain Tower, or people from Xianaya Pavilion. The Blood Venerable looked at Guan Qi with sharp eyes and asked in a cold tone. The Golden Wind and Rain Tower killed the Dharma King of Hanyu sect. No wonder the Hanyu sect has been able to exist until now despite being wanted by the Great Zhou dynasty. It turns out that its strength is not what we thought before. Guan Qi did not care about the other party's tone, but said in a deep voice. The Hanyu sect is divided into the inner sect and the outer sect at first. All the members of the outer sect were not very strong, but they were responsible for doing things. The structure of the outer sect is not much different from that of the inner sect, but the outer sect has a deputy leader, while the inner sect does not. Zihanyu became the inner sect saint with some achievements. This time, the Hanyu sect sent 2 venerables to deal with the Xianxian sect. Now there is 1 venerable in front of them. Of course, why there are so few sects? At first, they wanted to unite with the Qinglong society. In addition to some arrangements in the Xianxian sect, sneak attacks and plots, they believed that they could completely take down the Xianxian sect. But what they didn't expect was that Feng was more powerful than they thought and saw through their plan. They suffered heavy losses. However, the fight between the Xianxian sect and the Ghost Domain gave them another chance to attack. Hearing Guan Qi's words, the Blood Lord looked at Guan Qi with a fiercer look. But he glanced at Chen who was beside Guan Qi. Although Chen did not move, his aura had been locked on him, so he did not move. Today, for the sake of Li Longxiao, I will not kill you. But I hope that you will be with Li Longxiao next time we meet. Elder Yin, take Ruan Hongai, let's go, Blood Lord said to Elder Yin. Elder Yin flashed and appeared in front of Ruan Hongai, grabbed Ruan Hongai with broken arms, followed Blood Lord, and left quickly with his men. Chen looked at the seriously injured Zhou Yihu and said in a deep voice, I saved your life, can you repay it with your life? Zhou Yihu endured the injuries in his body at this moment, looked up at Chen if you can survive, I will swear to be loyal to you until death, but only to myself, Zhou Yihu sentenced, Xianxian sect, for the survival of Huxiao Fort. Chen saved him, he could be loyal to Chen but Huxiao Fort needed freedom. Okay, Chen nodded. He didn't want the Tiger Roar Fort, but Zhou Yihu. After he finished speaking, a pill appeared in his hand. This pill can help you recover from your injuries. As for the internal injuries, you need to adjust them yourself, Chen said. Zhou Yihu swallowed it without hesitation and began to recover from his injuries. We should go too, Li Chenhao said to Guanqi, and then looked at Zhou Yi who was recovering from his injuries. After you recover from your injuries, go to Ghost Domain to find Du Yuwudi. They can contact me. After Li Chenhao said this, he and Guanqi disappeared into the night. At this moment, there was silence here. After a while, Zhou Yi dragged his injured body away. The whole palace became silent. Bai Tianyu, who had been in the house, was horrified. Although he didn't leave the yard, he was still very clear about the strong collision sound when the battle broke out. The battle was a bit fierce. Now that it has subsided, he didn't go out either. Just because he didn't go out doesn't mean no one else will. Some non-Shan disciples appeared and saw the tragic situation at the moment. They immediately hugged Mu Fengyan's body and screamed. Someone quickly sent the situation here out. As for Bai Tianyu, he didn't go out. Although the disciples of the Xiantian sect who had just fought didn't show up, it was certain that someone on the other side saw the scene here. Although he didn't betray, he would still be treated unfriendly. Of course, with his strength, those people outside were not his opponents, but he had to continue to lurk in the Xiantian sect. The pigeons flew out quickly. The next day, early in the morning, a large carriage was moving forward on the official road outside the Great Wall. A trace of green buds appeared on the grass on both sides, and the sky could be seen at a glance. The large carriage seemed a little small on this official road. The climate outside the Great Wall is still a bit cold. Inside the carriage, sandalwood curled. A figure sat in the carriage, wearing a brocade long gown and looking elegant. The driver was an old man, and it was the carriage that Su Chen hired in King Chen. As for Ding Peng, Yan Nanchen, Zhu Yiren, and Liu Shen Yijian, these four people traveled day and night and had been in the frontier for a long time. He did not travel with a few people. Although there is no beautiful scenery in Linchen, Su Chen came to the frontier for the first time, and he also wanted to see the situation in the frontier. In the past few days, Su Chen has also roughly understood the frontier of this world, which is no different from the frontier of the ancient times in his previous life. However, the several gathering places he passed by seemed very prosperous and lively. Suddenly, a flying pigeon flew in from the window of the carriage. Mu Fengyan, Yuan Muge, one of the three elders of the Xiantian sect, and another Shinran Jiun and strongman died, Su Chen murmured. Seeing below, about the appearance of Zihanayu of the Hanayu sect, there was a strong man with Danshan Huhe beside him, which made him know the strength of the Hanayu sect, inner sect of course. What Su Chen was concerned about was that Hou Mufang would appear in the gathering place where the Xiantian sect was previously located today. It seems I should speed up my pace. Su Chen jumped out of the carriage, and 2 silver ingots appeared in his hand, which he shot directly into the hands of the old man. Next, I will go forward by myself, and the old man can go back. As he spoke, Su Chen's figure had disappeared in front of the old man. The old man driving the carriage stopped, put the silver ingot in his arms, and turned the carriage back. They often encounter such things. After the old man left, Su Chen paused, and 4 figures appeared beside Su Chen. They were the 4 ghosts from Xiaxi who secretly protected Su Chen. Take me to the gathering place of Xiantian sect, Su Chen said. The 4 people lifted Su Chen up in a blink of an eye, and then turned into a green light and disappeared on the official road. In the main hall of Xiantian sect 8 figures gathered in the main hall. Hou Mufang sat in the main hall with a gloomy face. Below him were 2 old men, one wearing a green robe and the other wearing a black robe. They were the 2 remaining great elders of Xiantian sect, the green-robed old man Hu Mingnang and the black-robed old man Lu Qingshen. Among them, Hu Mingnang is the master of Mu Fengyan, the master of Nanshan. His face is full of sadness. Behind them is Jin Duai, the master of Bishan. As for the other 5 people, they are 5 masters of the 9 difficulties of heaven and man from the 3 major peaks. At this moment, the atmosphere in the hall is quite solemn. Tiger Roar Fort, Xianmang sect betrayed, and people from Hanayu sect, Qinglong Society, and Ghost Domain showed up together. This is really a big deal, Jin Duai said, his tone is rather gloomy. Master, Ghost Domain is a little faster than us, we are a step slower, the old man in green robe said in a deep voice. It's not that we are slow, it's that I was careless, I underestimated. Xianaya Pavilion, Hou Mufang said in a deep voice. In the previous battle, he and Gu Santong tied, and both sides retreated. When Mu Fengyan went down the mountain, He asked Mu Fengyan to pay attention to Gu Santong, but he didn't consider anything else. Master, now that the Ghost Realm knows that the Azure Dragon Society has taken action, and with the Hanyu sect in the dark, the situation is extremely unfavorable to us, Jin Duayu said again. Let's go down the mountain and use the heads of Gu Santong from the Ghost Realm, Li Chenshao from the Azure Dragon Society, and Zi Hanyu from the Hanyu sect to avenge Fengyan. By the way, take the bodies of Fengyan and his men back to the Xiantian sect, Hou Mufang whispered. There was murderous intent in his voice. There was murderous intent. Hou Mufang had never experienced such a shame while leading the Xiantian sect. He would not allow such a shame. Even though he was defeated by Emperor Zhou, he still preserved all the power of the Xiantian sect. 20 years have passed. The strength has recovered, and the rivers and lakes and the frontier have changed dramatically. He wants to restore the prestige of the Xiantian sect and think about entering the past to challenge Emperor Zhou again to avenge the past. But before challenging Emperor Zhou, he encountered a ghost realm led by Xianaya Pavilion. There is also the Hanyu sect, who wants to plot against their Xiantian sect. He stood up and stepped out of the palace. Outside the palace, the snow was dotted on the mountains overnight, and the cool breeze blew, bringing a spring feeling that he could not feel. Let's go, Hou Mufang led 8 figures out of Xiantian sect. In a cave at one end of the mountain range, an old man with a white beard sat alone on an unfinished chessboard, thinking for a long time, and walked out of the cave, looking towards the main hall of Xiantian sect. The wind and clouds are rising again, the rivers and lakes are changing, and the times are changing. Why do you have to fight for this moment? The yin-yang gu insect planted by the saint in your body, as long as you can comprehend it, you will definitely be able to go further. As long as you go further, the saint will be able to sense it. At that time, she will pry open the heavenly gate to lead you away, and I can also return with you, without being suppressed by this world. My strength is constantly declining, just like your current strength, the old man with a white beard sighed. Then he continued to return to the cave. Hou Mufang's strength has recovered. There are people in this world who can kill him alone, but those who can kill him will inevitably trigger the yin-yang gu in his body, and then they will not kill him. Because that would offend people they dare not offend, so there is no need for him to follow. Chapter 422, Capital, Xianjianxi vs. Evil Alliance. Outside the capital, in the center of Fengjiazhuang, in a waterside pavilion, Murin Qingchen sat in the pavilion, looking at the water in front of him and thinking about something. A light breeze blew, and a figure landed behind Murin Qingchen and saluted respectfully. Miss, the news from the Evil Alliance has basically stopped. Hearing this, Murin Qingchen, who did not turn around, frowned slightly and said, didn't the Marquis of Anqing see a visiting man a few days ago, who was suspected to be from the Evil Alliance? Didn't you find any information about that person? Miss, we searched the entire capital for that person's appearance, but we didn't find anything. He must have disguised himself. It's difficult to find this person. Other people from the Evil Alliance have also temporarily hidden their tracks, so we can't know the information of the Evil Alliance, the visitor Kwei immediately reported. Is that so? Are they really willing to give up and let the Feng family refine that weapon-level long sword? Murin Qingchen said in a deep voice. The weapon-level long sword, Murin Qingchen spent some money to exchange from the Evil Emperor. The main purpose is to lure out the 3 leaders of the Evil Alliance, to come and snatch it. But the other party has not made any move. What about Anqing Hao? Murin Qingchen asked later. Anqing Hao and Madame Anqing recently attended an auction of the Namhe Chamber of Commerce, established some contacts with the Namhe Chamber of Commerce, and met with Nalan Rongayan and Bai Tianyu of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower, Kwei said. This Anqing Hao just cut off contact with the Money Gang, and actually got in touch with the Namhe Chamber of Commerce. The Namhe Chamber of Commerce has the shadow of the great General Wang behind it. Could it be that this Anqing Hao wants to get in touch with Tu Wei? Hearing this, Murin Qingchen frowned. Investigate closely, Murin Qingchen ordered. Anqing Hao is young. Compared with other cunning old generations, he does things openly and is more arrogant. It's just that his identity is not ordinary. Although he is young, he is the title of Anqing Hao bestowed by Emperor Zhou himself, which is not comparable to ordinary people. Over the years, as Emperor Zhou has been in seclusion, both the ministers in the court and the powerful officials outside the court have begun to have thoughts. It gives people a feeling that unrest is imminent. In fact, It is a bit strange that she is in charge of the Heavenly Supervision Department, because this is the order issued by Emperor Zhou during his seclusion. The former head of the Heavenly Supervision Department is now serving Emperor Zhou in the place where Emperor Zhou is in seclusion. Any other news? Murin Qingjin asked afterwards. When King Liu of Huaitun region learned about the murder of his third son, he personally summoned the leaders of the top 10 sects in Huaitun region and asked them to select elites to join forces with King Liu's black evil guards to capture the murderer. He also offered 10,000 taels of gold as a condition. Anyone who could provide clues would be given 10,000 taels of gold. However, it has been such a long time since they went out and there has been no news. The 4 major clans in Yangchang in the Jiangnan region are preparing to marry the 7th prince's mother's clan, the Lai family, when Chen, leader of the 9 northern counties, led the 3 dragon heads of Qinglong to suppress the Qinglong temple. The 3rd dragon head Li Chenshao showed up, but his strength had not yet been fully revealed. The ghost domain, to which Xian'ai Pavilion belongs outside the Great Wall, is fighting with the Xiantian sect. Gu Santong, the East Pavilion master of Xian'ai Pavilion, fought against Hou Feng of Xiantian sect, and there was no winner. The strength of the two is defined as the concentration of the mind in the sea, which has been condensed into divine will. There is some other information, Kwei said one by one. So, Su Chen is now the real martial arts overlord of the 9 northern counties. His identity should be the real young dragon chief, not just Ling Peng's disciple as we thought before, Murin Qingjin said. It should be like that, but when they were dealing with Qinglong Temple, they killed General Wang Duguiwei's people. I'm afraid Duguiwei will deal with them. Should we ask him to be careful of Duguiwei? No, since he dared to kill the person, he must have considered this. Zai Feng from the 9 northern counties is going back to the capital, so pay attention, Murin Qingjin ordered. Miss, there is also the person from Bulaodang, who may have appeared. Kwei suddenly thought of something and said. The person from Bulaodang has appeared. Do you know who has appeared? Murin Qingjin asked in surprise. I haven't found a real person here, but it is rumored that it is a young man with the surname Yun. Surname Yun. Immediately find out the clues about this person. It is not a good sign for someone to appear in Bulaodang at this time, Murin Qingjin said in a deep voice. Just as she finished speaking, suddenly, a low voice was heard in the front yard. Miss, someone broke into the villa. Kwei, who was beside Murin Qingjin, said with a change of expression. It seems that the person we are waiting for has arrived. Let's go and meet him. Murin Qingjin raised her hand and grabbed the long sword obtained from Yadi, not far away. The two of them jumped and flew towards the front yard of the manor. 3 figures appeared in the front yard. The leader was the burly man disguised by Keijing, and behind him were 2 men wearing ghost face masks. The 3 stepped forward without hiding their tracks. In front of them was an old man in a brocade robe. The old man was over 50 years old, but his beard and eyebrows were black, and his eyes were unusually sharp. Wei Tong, one of the 3 elders of Xianjianxi, looking at the old man who appeared, Keijing showed a sneer on his face. I didn't expect that someone would recognize me. But since you will recognize me, you are still so arrogant. It seems that you are confident of your own strength. Hearing Keijing's arrogant voice, the old man called Wei Tong's eyes turned red. He was one of the 3 elders of Xianjianxi. He accompanied Emperor Zhou to kill countless people. He was a man that everyone feared. 20 years are not the same as before. You have not made any progress, but others have made progress. For martial artists, age is not the only consideration, Keijing said coldly. 20 years ago, he would be afraid of the person in front of him. But 20 years later, he is not afraid. Moreover, he has just entered the level of Danshan Huahe. He was just about to see how this old generation of Danshan Huahe strongmen is. Hearing Keijing's words, Wei Tong's eyes became more and more fierce. But he did not take action immediately. Because there were 2 people following behind Keijing, and the auras of the 2 people were the same. They should be people practicing the same kind of skills. Where is Murin Qingjin? Did she want to lure me here? Why doesn't she show up? I came here specifically to get my precious sword. Keijing immediately took action when he saw the other party. He continued. The purpose of his coming this time was the precious sword. If it's just you, you shouldn't be able to stop us. Bang! When Keijing was talking, his eyes became gloomy, and his footsteps suddenly took a step. Strong blood and energy immediately surged out of his body, shaking his entire robe. A very strong oppressive momentum, with a ferocious murderous aura, spread from him. This blood and murderous aura, it seems that you are the one who uses virgin blood to cultivate. Sensing this blood and murderous aura in Keijing, Wei Tong's face changed and his eyes became solemn. Chapter 423, Fierce Battle, Unpredictable Result. Heaven and earth are unkind and treat all things as straw dogs. Why can't I practice with virgin blood? This is the way for warriors to make progress, Keijing said coldly. He directly admitted that he practiced with virgin blood. If he had been more restrained before, he would not have admitted it verbally, but he successfully transformed Danshan into the sea with the help of virgin blood, which gave him enough confidence. You are so conscienceless, a light shout sounded in the courtyard. Murin Qingchen and Kwei landed in the front hall, looking at Keijing with cold eyes. Using virgin blood to practice is cruel and terrible, which she cannot tolerate. Keijing didn't take her cold eyes seriously at all, and stared at the long sword in Murin Qingchen's palm. The precious sword is really in your hands. It seems that you spent a lot of money to get it back from Emperor of Night. In fact, I have to thank you. If you hadn't taken this precious sword back from Emperor of Night, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it. Keijing looked at Murin Qingchen and said coldly. The implication of his words was that he was able to take the knife away today, and he didn't take Murin Qingchen and Xian Jianxi seriously at all. But what he said was very practical. In the hands of Yi Di, he would have to pay a huge price to take it. But now that the precious knife is in Murin Qingchen's hands, he only needs to snatch it. How dare you talk to the princess like this? Today, I will definitely kill you with my palm. Wei Tong's palms curled up like eagle claws, and his fingertips flashed with cold luster, which looked extremely sharp. Swish! As he spoke, Wei Tong raised his palm and grabbed Keijing with one claw. The speed was as fast as lightning. The claw wind was extremely sharp, and it made a whistling sound when it collided with the air. Keijing snorted coldly, and his palm also curved and stretched out. The terrifying energy gathered in his body like lightning, and finally appeared on his palm. Then his palm clawed out and collided with Wei Tong's attack. The two forces collided, making a clanging sound of metal touching. Then, only two claw shadows were seen intersecting and colliding in the air. At this moment, the two began to fight with their own ki. Circles of strong wind swept over the place where they fought, colliding with the air and making sharp whistling sounds. Passing across the ground, countless cracks appeared on the ground. Boom! After the two men faced each other, their figures retreated several steps. Wei Tong looked at Keijing with gloomy eyes. In the previous fight, he had no upper hand at all. Although the opponent had just turned his Danshan into a sea, his ki and blood were no less than his. You go and get the sword, and I will deal with Wei Tong. Wei Tong, let's continue. Keijing, who was shocked back, showed a violent fighting spirit on his face and said in a deep voice. While speaking, his eyes showed a trace of ferocity, and his figure shot out again like a cannonball. He clenched his palm into a fist, and the fist was covered with a thick bloody aura, forming a bloody aura condensed ki gang, attacking Wei Tong. The way of attack was a bit simple and rough. Wei Tong raised his hand and punched to resist. Bang! The two forces collided, forming a wave of air that surged in all directions. Taking hand, in the sound of the collision, Wei Tong shouted, and his palm turned green. A green energy flowed out of his palm, knocking Keijing's palm back. At the moment of the shock, Wei Tong's body split into three in an instant, raised his palm, and grabbed Keijing at the same time. Three figures attacked Keijing at the same time. Keijing's body retreated rapidly. The speed of the three figures was too fast. For a moment, he could not tell which one was the real one, so he could only retreat. By retreating, he bought himself time to find the real one among the three figures. Swish! Although he retreated, Wei Tong's speed was still too fast, and he directly scratched a claw mark on his chest, and drops of blood flowed out from the claw mark. But the blood flowed for a few seconds, and a bloody energy surged in his body, and the claw mark was scarred in an instant. Among the techniques that Keijing practiced, there was a technique called Shiankan Huaxaguang, which was a technique that could use blood to recover from injuries. He used this technique to enter the Danshan Huahei. This injury is of no use to me, Wei Tong, you are old. Keijing laughed wildly at this time, and the blood and ki in his body surged, all of which went to his fist. In a blink of an eye, the blood and ki condensed into a layer of Genki on his fist. Boom! He took a step forward, A ferocious smile appeared on his face, and he attacked Wei Tong. Looking at Keijing, who was rushing towards him, Wei Tong's face was gloomy, and the qi in his body flowed. An invisible strong wind surged around him, forming a violent wind. The qi and wind collided with the surrounding air, forming a sound of rushing water. Rampant. Green demon hand, Wei Tong shouted, and a black evil spirit suddenly appeared on his originally green palm. He slapped it directly, and the terrifying qi burst out from his palm like a tide. Keijing, who was rushing over, also punched out under this wave of qi. The fist force gathered together and wanted to disperse the air wave. But it was dispersed by the air wave, and finally the palm landed on his fist. Bang! Keijing was shocked and flew backwards, and a layer of black evil spirit appeared on his arm. I am old, but my strength is still there. I won't let you be so rampant. At this moment, Wei Tong's internal energy rushed out, squeezing the surrounding air to make a crackling sound, and he walked towards Keijing step by step. Keijing, who was repelled by a palm, still had evil spirit on his arm, and his face showed excitement. The blood surged and dissolved the evil spirit on his arm. Heavenly evil true solution, heavenly evil wild fist, he shouted, and rushed towards Wei Tong. His aura changed and became violent. He raised his palm, and a scarlet evil spirit appeared on his fist. He smashed towards Wei Tong fiercely. On the other side, the two people who came with Keijing went towards Murin Qingchen. They walked in unison, as if they were one person. With every step they took, a heavy pressure appeared in the air, and Murin Qingchen and Kwei's heart beat faster. As their pace quickened, their hearts beat faster and faster, and their breathing became more and more rapid. Just when they couldn't stop it, a low shout came from the courtyard. Whoosh! After the low shout, a sharp sword energy in the hall of the courtyard directly slashed at the two people who were moving forward. The two people who were stepping forward stopped and punched at the same time, with extremely consistent movements. As if they were one person. There was a golden energy on their fists. It collided with the sword energy and made a sound of metal collision. Although they blocked the sword energy, their steps were slightly stepped back. It can be seen that the person who drew the sword is stronger than them. Vajra-type skills. Are you from Buddhism? In the hall, an old man in green clothes and holding a long sword in his hand stepped out and said to the two people who were knocked back by his sword. Chapter 424, a palm splits the throat, a sword pierces the heart, and the outside world gathers. The blue-shirted swordsman, Nijiansha, I didn't expect that two of the three elders from the Heavenly Supervision Division would come. A low, hoarse voice came from one of the mouths. It seems that you recognize me, so let me take off your masks and see who you are. The blue-shirted old man called Nijiansha stared at the two people wearing masks, and he could tell from the other party's tone that the other party knew him. As long as the mask was removed, he believed that he could recognize the other party. That depends on your ability, but if the two elders from the Heavenly Supervision Division die here, I don't know if the Heavenly Supervision Division will be in chaos. There was a hint of coldness in the hoarse voice of the other person. Murin Qingchen was waiting for the other party, and the other party wanted to use this opportunity to deal with the Heavenly Supervision Division. At this moment, Murin Qingchen's face was solemn. She heard a lot from the other party's words. You are so brave that you dare to despise me, Xian Jianzi, so much? Let's see if you can get past this 3-foot green sword of mine first. As the old man in green shirt spoke, he drew out his long sword and turned into a stream of light, attacking the two people. The sword light and sword energy instantly slashed out. When approaching the two people, these sword lights exploded, split, and turned into dozens of long swords, piercing through the vital points of the two people's bodies. Facing this attack, the two people wearing masks showed a solemn look in their eyes. They could clearly sense the power of this sword. This time, one of them raised his palm, and his palm was black iron, and he hit the sharp sword light that the old man in green shirt burst out. The two sides collided, bursting out bright sparks and powerful key vibrations. It touched the surrounding air and burst out a sharp sound. The ground under this person's feet was because of the collision between his palm and the sword light. The aftermath caused the ground to expand and shatter. His figure was shaken back and the ground continued to collapse. And the other person wearing a mask punched out. This punch was ordinary, but it was full of fierce innate energy, forming a fierce energy. When it whistled out, it seemed extremely sharp and had great destructive power. Woo! Wherever the fist went past, the air was shaken and a low humming sound was emitted. The old man in green shirt who was fighting with another person with a sword felt the threat of this punch, and his heart moved slightly. He turned his sword light back, and a thunder-like sword energy burst out from the long sword and chopped down towards his arm. He immediately turned sideways to avoid the sword. However, the opponent seemed to know that he was going to avoid his sword, and his fist was retracted in an instant, colliding with the thunder-like sword light. Heavenly evil yin cold palm. At this moment, the iron color on the palm of the person who had made the move earlier disappeared, and in an instant it was covered with a yin shaz cold air. His eyes showed a ferocious look, and he attacked the old man in green shirt with both palms. For a time, the palm shadows filled the sky, directly covering the old man in green shirt. Seeing this, the old man in green shirt looked condensed, and the long sword in his hand violently slashed out. The sword light was violent and fierce, and it directly collided head-on. The sword light blocked the palm print that was covering it, and shattered the evil spirit that was pouring towards his body meridians. Huh? He suddenly felt a palpitation, as if he was being stared at by a poisonous snake hidden in the dark. Swish! 3 black lights shot towards him in an instant after the palm shadow. Seeing this, the old man in green shirt wanted to raise his sword to resist, but at this moment, the power of the palm shadow that had previously triggered his sword suddenly surged, temporarily suppressing the old man in green shirt's chance to return the sword. Swish! 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 3 black lights shot directly into the body of the old man in green shirt. The old man in green shirt was immediately shocked and retreated. Ha ha ha, you were hit by 3 of my black cold bone penetrating nails, and your blood and ki will be frozen. Nijiansha, today is the day you die, a deep voice echoed in his yard. On the other side, fighting with Keijing. When Wei Tong heard this, his eyes changed. He wanted to avoid Keijing and go back to help the old man in green. But at this time, Keijing's internal energy burst out like a gust of wind. He would not let Wei Tong have the chance to come back to help. He punched out with his fist. He rushed directly to the opponent. Wei Tong showed an angry look on his face, but he had no choice but to take the punch. The 2 fists collided and made a bang. But this time Keijing did not retract his fist immediately, but gathered all his strength in an instant, condensing a huge force into his fist. This was to fight Wei Tong head-on. A stream of energy rushed from the fist to his fist, and this fist force was layered, trying to break Wei Tong's arm. Seeing this, Wei Tong was stunned for a moment and wanted to retract his fist, but the opponent's fist was fierce. Once he retracted, his arm might be injured. If his arm was injured, he would be at a disadvantage. In this situation, he couldn't be at a disadvantage. So he could only use his internal energy and move his arms to resist Keijing's attack. Of course, as an old strong man, he has extraordinary experience. When fighting with Keijing, his other hand suddenly condensed a stream of energy and shot it towards the opponent's eyes. The speed was so fast. Keijing instinctively turned his head at this time. But when he turned, the energy of his shot fluctuated slightly. Wei Tong seized this fluctuation, and his fist instantly changed into palm, grabbing the opponent's wrist, but Keijing's reaction was also very sensitive and his wrist turned to avoid his grasp. Wei Tong's face did not change at all when he saw this. He turned his body, the energy in his body burst out, and his back hit the opponent fiercely. He used his back as a weapon and hit Keijing's body fiercely. Bang! A low sound came from the place where the 2 people intersected, and Keijing's body was forcibly shaken and flew backwards. Keijing, who was flying backwards, suddenly turned his palm, and a cold light shot out from his hand and went to Wei Tong's throat. Wei Tong, who was originally prepared to take advantage of the situation and attack Keijing with a fatal blow, could only turn back to block the cold light. He punched out and knocked the cold light off. At this moment, the old man in green who was hit by 3 bone-penetrating nails on the other side covered his chest with his right hand, bent his body, and supported his body with a long sword in his hand. He didn't even look at the other 2. However, the man who attacked succeeded in his attack and shot towards the old man in green. His palm was like an eagle claw, with a strong murderous aura, and he rushed directly to the old man's head. He wanted to take off the old man's head. But just as he approached the old man in green, a cold light flashed in the eyes of the old man in green who bent his body, and the long sword that supported his body suddenly turned into cold light. It passed through the other's palm. Swish! It went straight into the other's throat. At this moment, the 3 bone-penetrating nails that were previously nailed on the old man's body fell to the ground with a crisp sound. You, The man whose throat was stabbed looked at the long sword in his throat in disbelief, and pointed his palm at the old man in green. He didn't understand why the other party was not injured at all after being hit by his bone-piercing nail. You underestimate the foundation of our Xianjianzi too much. The old man in green drew back the long sword, and there was still a trace of blood on the sword, which slowly dripped onto the ground. The sword was smooth and bright again. The masked man covered his throat and retreated. His eyes looked at the chest of the old man in green. There were 3 holes in the outer clothes, but the underwear was shining with a black light, and there was a hint of gold in the black color. Golden crow chain armor, the masked man said this and fell directly to the ground. Following him, another masked man appeared in front of the man who fell to the ground, with a trace of anger and sadness in his eyes. You killed my brother. A low and angry voice came out of the masked man's mouth, and his eyes became scarlet at this moment, revealing a hideous chill. Do you think I'm playing house with you? The old man in green said coldly, not paying any attention to the scarlet eyes of the masked man. On the other side, Ke Jing and Wei Tong had stopped fighting. He looked over here, and his eyes were also stunned. He didn't expect such a reversal. Wei Tong's face showed a ferocious look. None of you can leave today. While speaking, Wei Tong took out a pair of gloves from his back. The gloves looked ordinary, but they were definitely not simple to be taken out at this time. Heavenly evil gold silk gloves. Ke Jing's face changed when he saw Wei Tong put on the gloves. In the case of similar strength, either the skills have become stronger or the weapons are special. This heavenly evil gold silk glove can increase the sharpness of the Ke Jin by 20%. Don't underestimate this 20%. His eyes couldn't help but look at the precious sword in Murin Qingshan's hand. If he had this precious sword, his strength could also be increased by 10% or 20%. Boom. At this time, the masked man had a cold internal energy fluctuation around him, and his aura continued to rise. A pair of blood-colored devil wheels appeared in his hands. Seeing the blood-colored devil wheels, the old man in green shirt had a serious expression. Red blood devil wheels, you are the red blood twin demons. When Murin Qingshan heard the red blood twin demons from a distance, her eyes moved slightly. The red blood twin demons were figures from 20 years ago, and they were of the same generation as her father, Emperor Zhou. Those who could make a name for themselves when her father was dominating the world were not ordinary. At that time, the red blood twin demons were hunted down by the monks of the Lingayan Grotto Temple of Buddhism and disappeared from the world. Many people thought they were dead. But they were not dead, and they joined the evil alliance. Today I will use your blood to avenge my brother. The masked man who was recognized took off the mask on his face and took off his cloak, revealing an ordinary face, but this ordinary face was a little distorted at this moment. Boom. As soon as he stepped on the ground, he attacked the old man in green. The blood-colored devil wheels in his hands turned into 2 blood-colored lights, and he attacked the old man in green first. The gears appeared a blood-colored spiral wave above his internal energy. This wave was extremely sharp, like a whirlwind. Under the high-speed rotation, it shook the surrounding air and made a sharp sound of breaking through the air. It was extremely harsh. The old man in green looked solemn. At this time, the opponent seemed to be desperate. The sword energy in his body burst out and flowed around his body. Then he looked at the blood-colored devil wheels flying to the left and right, and the long sword in his hand immediately slashed out 2 swords. The sword energy burst out and wanted to hit the devil wheels. But the devil wheels rotated very fast, shattering the sword energy and continued to come. However, the sword energy also slowed down the speed of the rotation. Seeing this, the old man in green did not retreat but advanced. The long sword in his hand violently slashed out, and a huge sword energy went towards the devil wheels like a tide. Boom. The devil wheels collided with the sword energy to form an airflow. But at this time, a figure had already grabbed both hands, with 2 wheels in both hands, and smashed towards the old man in green shirt with endless blood. The speed was so fast and extremely fierce. The old man in green shirt drew his sword to resist. Clang. The long sword collided with the 2 wheels, and a bright spark was drawn. Clang clang clang. Then one of the remaining red blood twin demons continued to attack, and the 2 sides collided fiercely, and bright sparks and powerful ki burst out. The ki was extremely fierce. Within a few meters around them, the ki was flying. Ordinary people could not get close at all. Once they got close, they would be stabbed by this violent ki. Murin Qingshan and Kwei also quickly retreated, their eyes fixed on the battle in front of them. Although the power of the 2 wheels was strong, The sword of the old man in green shirt was also fierce and violent. For a while, it was impossible to tell the winner. Miss, this is not a solution. Should we send out the death guards? Kwei said. Heavenly Supervision Division. The strongest person before was the chief of the Heavenly Supervision Division, but now he's serving Emperor Zhou. Below him are the 3 elders of Heavenly Supervision Division. The strongest among the 3 elders did not appear, and he was in charge of the Heavenly Supervision Division. Below him are the death guards, which are specially refined humanoid puppets. They are people who have absorbed special medicine since childhood. They are not afraid of life and death, and they do not feel pain. They are a major killing weapon of the Heavenly Supervision Division. As the chief of the Heavenly Supervision Division, Murin Qingchen certainly has the death guards around him. Just as she was about to mobilize the death guards, fighting with the green-shirted old man, one of the red-blood twin demons suddenly retreated slightly, grabbed the blood-colored gear in his right hand, and attacked the green-shirted old man, spinning quickly. On the other side, his left-hand gear also attacked the green-shirted old man. The green-shirted old man used a sword to pick up the rotating gear, and then took it back to block the attack of the left and right gears. But at this moment, one of the red-blood twin demons did not take back the flying gear, but raised his hand and punched the green-shirted old man in the chest. A powerful ki burst out from his hand. The old man in green stepped back. But at this moment, the gear that was picked up suddenly turned rapidly and appeared behind the old man in green. Bang! The gear hit the old man in green fiercely on his back. Although the golden crow armor blocked it, a huge ki rushed into his body. The ki in the old man in green was shaken and stagnated for a short time. At this moment, the gear in the left hand of the red-blood twin demon turned and locked the old man in green's sword. The fist of the right hand opened directly, forming a claw, and grabbed the old man in green's throat. Swish! The palm grabbed the old man in green's throat, and the sharp ki directly cut the old man in green's throat, and a stream of blood sprayed out. At this moment, the longsword in the old man in green also broke away from the gear, turned into a cold sword and pierced the other's heart. The ki disappeared and the 2 figures intertwined. One person tore the other's throat with his palm, and the other person pierced the other's heart with a long sword. The scene of mutual destruction became silent. At this time, Ke Jing fought with Wei Tong, and was knocked away by Wei Tong's palm, but the place where he was knocked away was towards Murin Qingchen. On the way back, he raised his hand and grabbed it. A suction force appeared from his hand, grabbing the sword in Murin Qingchen's hand directly, and then turned around, without any stop, and disappeared in front of Murin Qingchen and others. Miss, let's just let him go. Kwei, who was beside Murin Qingchen, said so. Murin Qingchen looked at the body of the old man in green shirt lying on the ground, and a trace of worry appeared between his eyebrows. I applied something special on the long sword, and I can find its location when the time comes. I want this, evil alliance, to pay a heavy price, Murin Qingchen said fiercely. Wei Tong came to the old man in green shirt, and a trace of sadness appeared in his eyes. They have been together in Xianjianxi for many years, and left with the body of the old man in green shirt. At this time, outside the Great Wall, a stream of light appeared outside the gathering place where the Xianjian sect was stationed. 4 figures brought Su Chen down, and the 4 figures disappeared. Su Chen took a look and went to the gathering place. There were quite a few people in the gathering place. Su Chen looked at a sign at the entrance house and went in one direction. After a while, Su Chen came to a simple 2-story building. Inside the building, Du Wudi, Guan Qi, Li Chenshao and others all gathered here. When they saw Su Chen, they all stood up and saluted Su Chen. Has Hou Feng of the Xianjian sect not arrived yet? Su Chen asked. According to the clues, they should arrive at dusk. Hou Feng, the Lord of the North Mountain, Jin Dui, and 2 supreme elders will go down the mountain with the other 5 elders, Du Wudi replied. Hearing Du Wudi's words, Su Chen frowned slightly. A lot of people from the other side have come? How many masters from the Hanyu sect have come? Su Chen said. If there are fewer people from the Hanyu sect, then he doesn't plan to confront them head-on. Qinglong Society is a killer organization, and assassination is the means. Zihanai replied to us that 2 Danshan Huihei masters and 3 normal Shinran Jiunan masters have come. She is willing to join us in attacking Hou Feng. 4 ghosts from Xianxi, go and check on Zihanai and her friends. The 4 ghosts from Xianxi have recently improved their strength a lot under the accumulation of Su Chen's resources. The 4 of them are invisible, So it is most appropriate for them to check on Zihanayu's situation. There at this location, Duguwudi pointed to a place on the map of the gathering place on the table. In the dark, 4 figures disappeared. But after a moment, the 4 figures returned. My lord, there are no other masters around there, only Zihanayu and 2 Shinran Jiunan masters. The 4 ghosts from Xiaxi appeared and said, and then disappeared. Su Chen frowned when he heard this. The eyes of others condensed. My lord, are they trying to reap the benefits of others? Duguwudi's expression became gloomy. I'm going to meet Zihanayu and see what she has to say. You guys go outside the gathering place first, Su Chen said. He decided to meet Zihanayu. If Zihanayu didn't have a reasonable explanation, they would quickly leave the gathering place and assassinate her instead. Of course, just in case, he let the others leave the gathering place first. Chapter 425, The Great Zhou Emperor, the one who stirs up the storm. In the capital, in the back hall of the imperial palace. There was a palace with many secret guards gathered outside. This was the place where the great Zhou Emperor, the lord of the Zhou dynasty, was in seclusion. Inside the palace, it seemed very empty, but in this empty space, there were 2 figures playing chess. One of them was a middle-aged man in a dragon robe, with a powerful look between his eyebrows. He was the lord of the Zhou dynasty, the emperor of the Zhou dynasty. In front of him was a middle-aged man with a rough face, exuding a strong evil spirit. He was Zhu Pingxin, the former head of the Great Zhou Xianjian division, and also a blood knife beside the Great Zhou Emperor. You still have to eliminate the evil spirit in your body, otherwise it will be difficult for you to break through again. The white chess piece in the hand of the emperor of the Zhou dynasty fell and said, My lord, it's difficult to collect the evil spirit after so many years of killing, but I have found a method that suits my evil spirit, Zhu Pingxin said. He did not call the emperor of the Zhou dynasty your majesty, but my lord. It can be seen that the relationship between the two is a kind of family servant, and the relationship is not ordinary. How is the situation outside the Great Wall handled by the Hanayu sect? Emperor Zhou asked. The Hanayu sect is carrying out its plan, but Hou Feng is not simple. He has noticed something and has cleared out the Hanayu sect, people lurking in the Xianqian sect. However, recently the Xianqian sect and the ghost domain, occupied by the Xianaya pavilion, have been fighting, and it is estimated that a large part of their strength will be consumed. By then, the Hanayu sect should be able to take over the Xianqian sect, Zhu Pingxin replied. Speaking of this Xianaya pavilion, how is your investigation going? Emperor Zhou thought of something when he heard this and asked. My lord, I haven't found out the specific situation of this Xianaya pavilion, however, the East Pavilion and the North Pavilion have appeared. The East Pavilion Master Gu Santong has reached the level of condensing the spirit in the sea, and his spirit is a huge golden body. In addition, the North Pavilion Master, Yi Di, has already turned into the sea, and he feels that he can condensing the spirit in the sea when he's almost there. Is the golden body shaping the spirit caused by the practice, or, Emperor Zhou has no interest in warriors below the level of condensing the spirit in the sea, and he attaches great importance to warriors who can condensing the spirit in the sea. From the situation of fighting with Hou Feng, his golden body that can shape the spirit should be related to the practice, but Hou Feng is not ordinary. He was knocked down by your majesty in the past. I didn't expect that in the past 20 years, he could condensing the spirit in the sea again. It's really not simple. Zhu Pingxin's tone was full of admiration. He saw with his own eyes that Hou Feng fell down and was seriously injured. He was very surprised that he could recover from such an injury. There is a poisonous insect in his body, which can help him recover from his injuries. Don't envy him, Emperor Zhou said softly. If it weren't for the poisonous insect, Hou Feng would have died in his hands. That's true, Zhu Pingxin nodded involuntarily. He knew what Emperor Zhou was talking about. There is also a newly emerged force, a killer organization called the Green Dragon Society. It is rumored that the Green Dragon Society has 7 dragon heads, and 3 of them have appeared. The strongest now should be the 3rd dragon head Li Chenshao. According to the observation of spies, this person has already gathered his strength, and he should soon break through the level of sea transformation and step into the sea to concentrate his mind. After the emergence of this force, although it is mainly composed of the 7 dragon heads, the prominent figure is a man named Su Chen, who has now become the leader of the 9 northern counties. He is very young, with average strength, and has just entered the celestial being not long ago. His aptitude was not outstanding in the past. After his father's death, he was reborn, and it is possible that he was hiding his strength in the early stage. This Su Chen has some relationship with Princess Qingchen, but these are not so bad, mainly because people from the Eternal Life Society and Buleo Deng are also starting to show up, Zhu Pingsheng said. They have also come out. More and more forces have joined the game. I am still a little short of the power of the world. If I add more blood and evil spirits, I should be able to break the gate of heaven, draw them all out, stir up the wind and rain, gather the evil spirits of the world, and finally kill them. With the help of momentum, break the gate of heaven. Emperor Zhou's eyes flashed with a strong murderous intent. The 9 princes and the fights between other princes are a little too calm. If they are too calm, the Zhou dynasty will not stir up any waves, and those people will not move. You should know what to do next, Emperor Zhou said. From their conversation, it can be known that all the ups and downs in the world are controlled by Emperor Zhou, and the fight between the 9 princes is also secretly planned by him. He prepared the battle for the throne of the 9 dragons. Now the turmoil in the great Zhou dynasty is secretly set up by him. He is a real chess player in the world. At this time, a light footstep came in from the back of the hall. It was a beardless eunuch wearing eunuch clothes, with a white face. He came to the two of them softly. Your Majesty, Chief. There is news from Feng Villa that Jiansha, one of the 3 elders of the Heavenly Supervision Division, died together with the red blood twin demons of the Evil Alliance. When they fought, Eunuch Wuxia reported back. Jiansha was killed. Qingchen underestimated the Evil Alliance. We know about it. Please trouble Eunuch K, Zhu Pingsheng said in a calm tone. Eunuch K bowed to Emperor Zhou and retreated. I didn't expect that killing would first appear in my Heavenly Supervision Division. I don't know why Your Majesty chose Princess Qingchen to take charge of the Heavenly Supervision Division. Although Princess Qingchen is talented, she is still a little immature to take charge of the Heavenly Supervision Division, Zhu Pingsheng said in a low voice. Only if Qingchen is in charge, you can secretly control the Heavenly Supervision Division. Others are more concerned about power than Qingchen. What's more, Qingchen is more concerned about the stability of the Great Zhou dynasty. She will target those who stir up blood rain in the Heavenly Supervision Division. But because of her, others can stir up even greater storms. By the way, Qingchen seems to care about Su Chen from the Green Dragon Society. If you have time, secretly transfer Su Chen from the 9 northern counties to the capital. Maybe he can help Qingchen deal with more powerful people. After saying this, Emperor Zhou made another move. Zhu Pingsheng stopped talking and continued to play chess with Emperor Zhou. Su Chen, who was far away in the frontier, didn't know yet. He had been calculated by Emperor Zhou. At this moment, he came to Zihanayu's residence. When she saw Su Chen, Zihanayu showed surprise on her face. She didn't expect Su Chen to appear in the frontier. I didn't expect that Master Su, you would come to the frontier in person. Zihanayu looked at Su Hao and said. I was the one who facilitated the cooperation between Qinglong Society and Xianaya Pavilion, so of course I have to come, Su Chen said softly. He sat opposite Zihanayu and looked at her. They had not seen each other for a while. After the incident of Meng Shentong in Chang'an Palace, Zihanayu disappeared. If it were not for the involvement of the ghost domain in the Xianchen sect, it is estimated that their meeting would have been longer. I came here this time to ask the saint, how many masters have come here, ready to work with the ghost domain, and our Qinglong Society, to deal with Hou Mufeng of the Xianchen sect, Su Chen said straight to the point. Hearing Su Hao's words, Zihanayu said in a deep voice, Master Su, our Hanayu sect, suffered heavy losses in the Xianchen sect. I am afraid we can't deal with Hou Mufeng together with you. Zihanayu looked at Su Chen and said. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.